up, everybody? That Nirvana remix go hard. You already know. What's up, everybody? How we doing? I missed these last night. God, man, my man went in last night. Charles, thank you very much. And I appreciate the kind words, by the way, earlier. I'm glad you understand where I'm coming from, because it's for me to sit there and try to explain that all what you said to everybody is impossible. So thank you so much for that, and giving me hope that people do understand what's going on. Walter, what's good, baby? He said if you don't get Wicked in on this goddamn intros, bro, we gotta get them in. You gonna get us an intro, bro, for the podcast? Let's go, man. All right, let me make this followers only restricted. Basically means that you have to have had a 2-week. You've had to have your profile for 2 weeks to comment, and you have to be a follower in order to comment. I'm gonna put it on slow mode too, so somebody can spam up the chat. I like that one. What's up, Christian? How you guys doing today? We're gonna hit this this beautiful podcast with your boy PicNick Basket Gaming, the legend himself, by the way. It's gonna be pretty cool. This will be pretty cool getting to talk to the legend. Of course, we did spend some time with him in Los Angeles. We had actually an amazing time with Nick and Triple G and Rasta and everybody who went out. Hops. We had a lot of fun. So it's not like we don't know Nick, but at the same time, it's always fun to kind of bring him in on something and let everybody kind of see what's going on. So what up, Donovan? What's good, baby? How you doing, man? When are we gonna get that beer, Donovan, bro? I got Stream of Thrones up in here, boy. What's good? Yeah. Merchell said, can I get a shout out? Merchell, milestone follower, by the way. How you doing? Look at that. That's what's up. Been following for a minute. Where's Thunder Rooster? Thunder Rooster will not be joining us on the podcast from here on out. It'll just be me, Primetime, and Rasta La Vista. So hopefully he continues his road and does good things on his own. Flash God, what's good, man? How you doing, bro? Great to see you as well, man. GG's. Dustin, what's up? What's up? Let me go ahead and unmute. Let's get us into this. Let's get us into some talking with these boys, and we'll be having some fun. Walter said, I got a YK intro for you, bro. DM. Hey, hit me up, bro. For real. And yeah, I haven't reached out to you, bro. I know I've been too busy. I'm not too busy. I'm an idiot. I've been pretty busy lately, but I've been meaning to reach out to you about getting an intro. It'd be awesome to have you on a freaking on a song, dude. Because the one you did for Thompson was lit. Absolutely lit, bro. Awesome work. I'm glad to see you, man. I'm glad to see you killing it, bro. For real. So much love to you, my guy. Christian coming in with a chill, bro. Yo, chill, dog. You already know. Bobby Lee with the 50 stars. Thank you, man. I will not be focusing too much on chat while we're talking to Mr. PicNick, because I'm going to focus all my energy on asking him questions, communicating with these guys, and having good conversations. So please bear with me if I ignore the chat. I apologize. I do love you guys, but you guys know how it is. Bobby, thank you for the 50 stars. Chill from Christian and 100 stars. Mary, thank you guys for the shares. I appreciate you. Josh Loney, Cody McLean, Morgan, thank you guys. Appreciate your shares. A 4-way view. Yes, we'll be having a 4-way here. I'll actually do that right now. Boom. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and switch over now. Fellas,
I'm here as well, ready to go.
We can just get Rasta to
stop dancing over there and playing with his hair.
Right, playing with his hair, dude. My man's over there playing with his hair, though.
He's stroking it.
For real, man. I really feel like we should have planned this out, and we all should have gotten dreadlocks that would just pop on right now.
Yeah, right.
Should have been a little prior planning would have been pretty hot. Come on, Rasta, what are you doing, dog?
He's just now talking,
He
bro.
saw us. Yeah, he saw us. He was looking at us.
Yeah, I know. He smiled. He ain't just now talking. I've been looking at him talking the whole time. What are you talking about?
No, he wasn't talking. He was singing.
Oh, he was singing.
There's a difference.
There is a little bit of a difference, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, I guess I'm gonna play DJ Yuppie while we're chilling.
Everybody talks about my hair.
TJ said, have a good show. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Matt Johnson, thank you for the share. Rick coming in with the 6 months, man. I will be hitting you guys if you are continuing to hit it with the supporter, man. If you guys come in with the anniversary, I would definitely try to mute out and let you guys know. Thank you very much for the 6 months on that. Much love to you guys. YK, you a fancy Aratat? Aratat? What is that? What's up, Aratat? What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Rasta.
It's Whoopi La Vista, actually.
Whoopi. Yeah.
La Vista. Whoopi La Vista.
Whoopi Goldberger for the win, please.
Oh man.
Y'all ever watch a Connect 5 show, whatever the hell it was called? What was that show called?
No idea. We're not
She was on like, nah, yeah, I know you guys are young. She was on a game show and she was like the center square, spare square or some shit like that was called. I don't remember. Whatever. Somebody will probably know what it's called. All right, let's get this show started.
Yes.
Yeah.
The topic of today's convo is the letter P.
For Picnic Basket Gaming. I heard they were making a new sandwich at McDonald's called the McPicnic.
The
They are actually. Yeah.
I would break my 6-year streak of not having McDonald's to try that.
6 years? You haven't had McDonald's for 6 years?
Yeah, I
Yep.
can't do that. Nope.
That's tough. I haven't had it in probably about a year though.
A year? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Been like about 2 days.
I was about to say, it's been about a week or so.
I tried to
Nah,
order.
I
the
can't
other
do
night.
that. I can't do. Nah,
Here's the thing about
I can't-
McDonald's. Like every time I eat there, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna regret this shit. And sure enough, I do. I can't like.
Every
I hate
time.
it every single
Every
time,
time.
dude. Don't even waste your time. I'm like, dude,
What is that?
I'm gonna
What
feel
is-
like
why is that?
it's just
Why
like
is
I
that?
feel like
'Cause
shit every time I
love-
eat it. I feel like
What?
shit. It just
I
makes me
feel
feel like
happy.
crap.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I get me a McChicken or a fish fillet sandwich.
Maybe
Oh,
that's why
man.
I'm always getting Big
But
Macs.
do you? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
so-
I get a
so-
burger. I get a burger or chicken
Okay.
nuggets.
Okay, all right. So, but do you at least go there for like the
Hollywood Squares.
the,
Yeah.
the frappes? You go there for at least that?
I mean, I'll get some coffee from there.
That's what I'm
I'll
saying.
take
Like,
it
okay,
over.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
the fraps is like a.
I wouldn't even get a cup of water from McDonald's.
McFlurries are good though. You know, I'm an Oreo
Yeah, like
McFlurry.
that's what I'm saying.
Bro, they'll
yeah,
jip you. They'll jip you on some McFlurries sometimes. They won't even give you any Oreo.
Last time they gave me a large and I didn't even order it. He was like, "Hey man, I upgraded." I was like, "Shit, thanks, bro.
You
Like,
can win.
kill me faster, thanks, bro." Like,
They gave you a
I didn't already
McFlurry.
make the mistake.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
So hold
he
on.
upgraded it.
So where do you eat that picnic?
Chick-fil-A. That's an easy.
It's actually sponsored by Chick-fil-A. We just don't know it yet.
Yes.
How about some Popeyes?
Just
No?
blew the
Hey,
blew the
if
news.
there was a Popeyes near me, I would be there. I would
got
be
one.
there.
I
But
got one 2 minutes from the crib, right down the street next
Yeah.
to
He
would
McDonald's.
Blew the
know
next
news.
to McDonald's.
Walking distance.
So have you not tried the Popeye chicken sandwich?
I haven't. No, I haven't had the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Didn't they? They're about to bring it back too, right? Like
Yeah,
I
they
saw
said-
the news or
yeah,
something. They're
I
bringing
saw
it back.
something about that.
Fire.
Is it really that? It can't be. It's not better than.
I ate. Look, he had Chick-fil-A 2 nights ago, and he just kept talking about it. So I
Oh,
got
I watched
Chick-fil-A
that, yeah.
that morning. I got Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, amazing, absolutely amazing. But that Popeye chicken sandwich, you gotta get the spicy one.
Oh yeah.
They
Mind
stopped
blowing.
selling them everywhere, man. I
They
haven't.
did.
Yeah.
It was that good. I promise you.
I actually called. I actually
ran
called
out.
I
Popeyes,
would not lie to you.
and the lady was like,
Dang it.
"Yeah, we're not gonna have it back until like mid-November." And I was like, "Jesus, bro! Like, is it really
My
that? Is it
Lord.
really that good? Like, is
That's
it,
what
is
happens
it
when
hype?
it blows up like that. Like,
it hype?
like it was
But-
the
But it was
Trent.
good.
with good reason.
It was
Can
good.
we talk?
Like people try to downplay it. Like, I don't know why people are getting so hype about it. Ain't that good? You're a Chick-fil-A hater. That's what it is. Because you just love Chick-fil-A. You're just gonna hate
So
now.
good.
Yeah.
It was delicious. I
Chicken
think it
minis.
might be I think it might be the best chicken sandwich I ever had.
Chicken minis in the morning, or
What comes on it?
So the spicy one comes with like a mayo, like spice, like a spice mayo, like top with pickles. I think it's like one big pickle with like this sauce. It's like a secret sauce, bro. It's
One
the most,
big pickle.
bro, hitter.
it's my new band. I'm actually.
Little did they
Look.
know it's actually Raising Cane's secret sauce. They
Listen,
just-
Mm.
buy a bunch of it and put it on there.
So your people know you're a Chick-fil-A guy, right?
Oh yeah, no
Yeah,
question.
well, that'll go. It'll be Popeyes.
If there, I'm
Watch.
telling you, if there's one near me, I would be there.
I don't know how
there.
I don't know how there's not though. Like
Yeah, there was a
that's huge on
Bojangles around here, but
Popeyes
those
is
are
huge on the
packed
East
out.
Coast.
Yeah, that's what like when I was traveling the East Coast, like doing for that past job I was used to work for is, I actually went to it was the first time I had it was in New Jersey, and got the spicy chicken tenders.
Well, our states touch. You're in West Virginia. I'm in Pennsylvania. Like a small
Yeah.
portion of us touch. But that's what I'm saying. I'm confused why like you don't have relatively some type of Popeye close by.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
It's unfortunate, is what it is.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is.
It's unfortunate. It doesn't matter because half of them don't sell the sandwiches anyways. Because I've been to like 4 of them and all of them is sold out.
Yeah.
We'll get them back in like 2 months. Sorry. Rip.
There goes that topic.
Yeah, Call of Duty. That's what we're here to talk about. That's what people want to talk about. Because
I can't wait.
there's only so much time until it releases. So
Yep.
I think this is it was actually a blessing that we didn't have you on 2 days ago because tonight it's perfect.
Yeah, we
It
can sit
comes
here
out
up to the point and then
right there.
boom. Yeah, I'm
So-
really excited.
I'm really opinionated when it comes to streaming this game. We've all seen it on the beta. I'm curious, and I'm sure you might have the same opinion as me, but I'm curious what you think is gonna end up happening for Blackout streamers that decide to kind of mesh into Modern Warfare without there being a battle royale involved. What do you think's gonna happen to these guys? Some of these guys.
I think they're just gonna go right back to Blackout. I think they're gonna just end up. They're gonna play this, and they're gonna, whether they like the game or not, or whether they have a lot of fun with the game or not, like they're gonna eventually find something that's wrong with it for them to be like, okay, this sucks. This makes me mad. This blah blah blah, and then eventually just go back to Blackout when the end result was, or the bottom line was, they are looking at their numbers and they're like, oh god, I'm losing this, and
bleeding.
CCV, and
They're gonna bleed.
Exactly. So they panic and they go back.
They panic. It's a good point.
That's what I definitely think is gonna happen for a lot of people.
So
You want to know what I think? I'll tell you what I think. I think a lot of them are gonna see it. They're gonna be like, yeah, it's Uncle Jenkins, and they didn't got there though, right? I think a lot of these youngsters are gonna look at it and see it as PicNick is gone, Y8 is gone. The views, baby. They're all mine.
I'm going to Blackout.
All the views now. Come to me.
Actually,
I'm
that's
playing Blackout. You want to see Blackout? I'm playing it.
I
Come
think
here.
that's a huge point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people are
most
going to want to
definitely.
watch Modern Warfare, and I think that a lot of people are going to actually surge their channels from not going over. They're going to.
Mhm.
I feel like people are going to plan that out. They have to.
Would that be a concern of yours, Nick? I know we
Yeah.
know you're established and everything like that, but
Yeah.
there's a good
No matter what,
based
no
from
matter
what I
what.
saw.
People love to
your
watch
numbers.
Battle Royale. Yeah, people
Yeah.
love to watch Battle Royale. No matter what, like it doesn't matter how they like multiplayer, or the average gamer, the average person gets more excitement out of watching you get a Vic Royale at number 1 out of 100 people than watching you win a domination, right? Or a team deathmatch. And well, even if you're going off for 50 plus kills each game and stuff like that, like there's only so much that like excites a person. And that's what we were talking a little bit about in chat today, is like how in public matches and multiplayer, it's like pretty much the same thing over and over. Then in battle royale, which is why it's so watchable and so retainable over time, is how every single game is different. Every single game in some way, shape, or form, every single game is different. And I think that's why, besides just the fact of getting dubs and stuff like that, it's like every game has the potential to be a crazy game, a funny game, or whatever it is.
So, and you mentioned how 2 parts. Rasta is right. You will see a lot of people. I've even contemplated myself. I know when, and the way I do it is I pick and choose most of the time when I get on. I try to make sure like you're not on, White's not on. Sometimes Philly Promise. Anybody who holds more viewers than me, I try to make sure they're not on. That way I'm like up on the boards and I get more traffic.
Mhm.
And I've contemplated it with you guys. If everybody does transition over, I contemplated still maining Blackout with some Modern Warfare because I know that I'll see a lot of viewership being one of the more higher viewed people on Blackout then. But my question to you then is Modern Warfare a permanent switch? Like
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It's like
Okay.
for what? So I'll say this for at least it all comes down to how good the game is. But for at least, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and again, it really just depends on how good the game is I'm gonna be maining Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm gonna be playing that game 8 hours plus a day, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. Whether I'm playing multiplayer, whether I'm playing competitive matches, whether I'm playing wagers, whether I'm playing just on free ladders, actually just that are competitive or on GB or Players Lounge or Checkmate Gaming, whatever it is, whether it's for money or not, I'm going to be playing that competitive style, which is where I, originally came from before, Blackout was a thing. And, but to answer your question, no, I'm not going to stop playing Blackout forever, but it really just depends on how good the game is. And then I'll make the decision to go back or not.
Yeah, I've
But
seen.
is your decision, my fault, is your decision to go back or not based on viewership?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
That's been one of my main things from the very beginning and you could ask anybody, even especially in the chats, like I am a big time advocate of playing what you want to play,
Absolutely.
not just because of a number or a viewership or whatever, which is a lot of people I think mistake, because when they start playing something they're not having fun with, that's when the content level or how good the content is that you're putting out goes down, depletes. It's horrible. It's like you just don't, when you're not having fun playing the game, you're not gonna put out fire content. And that's just facts.
That's true, and I actually can attest to that just from the last few days myself, in a whole nother gaming element in the Grand Theft Auto world. So, I know I'm gonna sacrifice the views, but in the end, if I'm not having fun, I'm not gonna sit there and just eat up my soul over it. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. So, 100% facts on that. And I've seen you talk about this a couple of times. So yeah, I know you're talking about planning on. You've already planned it out, like 3 weeks. Just based on what you've seen anyways from the game, you already know what to expect. There'll be some new game modes you want to put in time on. You want to grind out you'll grind out the campaign and all that kind of stuff. You get it all knocked out, and then when you feel comfortable, when you're done with the game, you'll probably go back and probably just kind of rotate them back and forth.
Blackout. Yeah, exactly.
Games like Rainbow Six still very, very competitive. I have a question that's kind of a little bit off topic, I guess, separately. It's not really off topic, but it's separate to the game itself. But you have mouse and keyboard players that have always been the what do you want to call them, the black sheep, I guess, in Fortnite, right? People that bust out their mouse and keyboard. How are we going to be doing tournaments when they're combined now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that is actually a thing I was reading up on a forum about. Like no one actually has an answer of how it's going to be right now, or even like in like the Call of Duty Pro League. I'm pretty sure they have it set that it's going to be a console only thing, the franchise league of Call of Duty. I think it's going to be a console only thing, just because of the partnership that PlayStation has with Activision and so on. But as far as like actually on these like external sites like Players Lounge or stuff, so I think there'll be an option to say, hey, yes, allow cross-platform, or no, do not allow cross-platform, and then somebody that is an Xbox team or like a PlayStation team, whatever it was, like you can only be on that separate one. But then if you're like on a team where it's like a duos team and you have a PlayStation player and then a PC player, you're just going to be in that cross-platform no matter what. So I don't know. It's just going to be weird. It's going to be interesting to see what these sites are going to do to say, yes, you got to play cross-platform no matter what, or there's going to be the option to turn it off.
I think that I don't think that. I mean, the cross-platform is always good. It's always good to play with your friends, because I have a lot of people on Xbox, a lot of people on PC. I'll be on PC myself, so I'll probably be playing with you guys on PC versus PS4 if you guys are interested. But it'll be very interesting to see, like you said, like how are the tournaments though? Because that's been always Rainbow Six is big because it's very competitive. The tournaments are awesome, but it's also not cross-platform, so you know what you're getting. People with mouse and keyboard have an extreme advantage over people with thumbsticks. So I agree with you on that.
I don't know. It'll be very yeah. I'm excited to see exactly what they do. I think there's no possible way that they're gonna force it that you have to play in these competitive forms, that you have to, whether it may be a little different when it actually gets to the tournaments, when it's actually like a legitimate tournament. They say this is a cross-platform tournament. But if you're playing just on like a free ladder or like a wager ladder or something like that, you'll have the option. And when you create a match or like for somebody to accept, you'll have the option to say no cross-platform or platform biased.
I hope they have
I
thought of
don't
that.
know. Yeah.
So, we already know that a lot of people are going to, come over from Blackout, play Modern Warfare for a week or two. The hardcore Call of Duty players or the streamers that really don't care much for the numbers. I'm gonna stay on Modern Warfare a little bit longer, if not permanently. But a lot of other people are gonna try to make the switch back to Blackout eventually, right? Whether it's sooner rather than later. Now, we've all heard about the strong rumors of a battle royale coming early 2020. Let's say for instance, a lot of these people do make the switch back to Blackout, and now they're playing Modern Warfare about probably like once or twice a week, and not even for long when they do so, but they're just grinding Blackout. Now, let's fast forward to a time hypothetically that boom, a battle royale for Modern Warfare is announced and released. What do you guys see happening as far as those Blackout players? Because obviously they're gonna be at an extreme disadvantage. They're not. They played the game, but they haven't really played the game. You feel me? It's like playing Fortnite heavily and then playing Battlefield multiplayer once a week, and then Battlefield Firestorm comes out. You play so much Fortnite, you're not really gonna just hop on Battlefield Firestorm, and you got to get back accustomed to it, especially if you mean it.
The perishable skill.
A lot of people,
especially with the movement difference as well. The movements in both games are completely different, and I think that's going to change big time. It's like the people that are trying to like all of a sudden boom, they drop a Modern Warfare Battle Royale. The people that didn't care about the numbers, that were over here still playing Battle Royale or Modern Warfare, having that fun with it, enjoying it, if they're truly enjoying it,
I'll be back.
are going to be the top of the line. They're the ones going to be destroying the lobbies, 20 bombs over and stuff like that. Because the people that try to jump over from Blackout are not going to be.
It's not going to be near the. It's not going to be near the same game. It's going to be almost closer to PUBG. It'd be like a battle royale for Rainbow Six, if they,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I played with a lot of, when that beta was out, I played with a lot of streamers, a lot of them, and the mass majority struggled playing the multiplayer, and literally I picked someone up, and 6-7 games, I'm going back to Blackout.
Yeah.
Like you asked Philly, me and Philly, when the beta was out, we were running multiple 24-hour streams. Me and Philly, all we did was play Modern Warfare. We didn't even touch Blackout for like that stretch of like 5 or 6 days that it was out. Same thing as you, like all we did was touch like Modern Warfare. And like we play with so many streamers, bringing them in to pick up to fill the team. And like literally few games, boop, 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 they're getting, they're going 5 for 15, right back to Blackout. They were just running right back to Blackout just because the game it's not like any other Call of Duty we played. Like it really has a Rainbow-esque movement kind of feel to it. It's really
hardcore.
You're not running and
much
gunning.
More tactical.
Yeah, it's not Black Ops 4 multiplayer where you run around and just gun with a SOG or something.
Yeah.
You cannot just go barreling through the map. You literally have to play extremely tactical. And I think this game is going to be for true, real FPS shooter players, not people who just dabble a little bit or who happen to be good at Blackout. Blackout's very easy to play. It is. As long as you play enough of it, you can easily pick up and get better. But this game, though, is really going to take some serious skills and thinking your brain is really going to come involved with positioning and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how the Battle Royale aspect of it comes out, because it's definitely going to be, it's not going to be like Blackout's Battle Royale. I'd love if they do drop it. I can
Yeah.
only imagine the type of feel it's gonna have.
One thing I will say I noticed was like the game is so slow that people they adapt to it, and there's a lot more camping in especially the multiplayer.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we go from the game of Black Ops 4 being the highest level of HP that we've had or health that we've had with 150, putting multiple, clips or whatever magazines that into people, and then you go from that to this game, which touches on that, how different of a game it is really the TTK, like how fast you can kill somebody, just a couple bullets, boom, boom, and they're dead, whether you're playing hardcore or not. And I think that's the most challenging part for people is because they literally just don't know what to do. Like they start to camp when they're going 5 and 15.
Well, they dropped a hardcore mode, and the only thing that I noticed in the hardcore mode was it was just one headshot and you kill people. Like the body shot still felt exactly the same as the normal game mode. So I don't know if there's too much of a change, short of nothing being on screen, one headshot. Like that's all the difference between hardcore and core is going to be in this game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm okay with that.
Do we know how many hardcore modes there are going to be? Is there going to be like the normal? I think there was like a leak of like game modes or something like that.
There
But
is
it just going to be like the regular team deathmatch domination headquarters, like the core like 6 game modes that they have, and then
they called
there'll
it
be like a hardcore version of that.
They called it real mode or realistic mode. Did you play that when they dropped that?
Realism. Yeah,
Realism. Yeah.
Yeah. I would assume
But
it would be for everything.
But I felt when I played the realism, I felt like the shots were the same. I thought the only difference was the HUD.
The HUD and the headshot.
I think the realism is a little bit different. Well, the way because the realism I think is different from hardcore. Realism is its own game mode of where you can. There is no HUD. There is no like when you kill somebody, it doesn't tell you.
I meant realism from just like a regular game mode. I thought the difference between a regular game mode and realism didn't have the HUD. Or was there?
Thank you for the 6 months,
difference?
GI, my guy. Much love to you, bro.
There wasn't really one, no, but I think they actually we'll see in 2 hours. But I think they actually did away with hardcore mode and found like a happy medium with realism mode. I really don't think like realism is there to replace hardcore.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because we played realism. I
loved it.
I felt like it was the same as far as bullets to kill.
No, the headshots were 1, and I noticed that off the top. Like it's like 3 or 4 headshots sometimes to kill people, depending on what gun you have in the normal mode. But it is actually 1 headshot in that. It doesn't matter what gun you have.
So, what game mode? What was your bread and butter on the beta?
Talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah,
dude, I had the most fun playing Ground War.
Ground War. I knew you was gonna say it.
Dude, Ground War was just so much fun because like it's just not something. I mean, people like, oh, it's like Battlefield and this and stuff like that. It was not like, yes, it was in the same concept of the Battlefield because it was like the conquest game mode where there was 5 different flags of the tanks, exactly, vehicles. But in reality, the movement, everything was completely different. It's like how fast you kill people. It was just different. It was different, and when you played it, you felt that difference. But I think when you would watch it, and I think that's why in streams, like in chats and stuff like that, people would be like, this looks like Battlefield, and then like, oh, this is a rip off of Battlefield, blah blah blah. When it's different when you actually play it. When you look at it, I can definitely understand when somebody's like, oh, this is like Battlefield. You see tanks, you see, vehicles, you see the 5 flags and people running around and stuff like that. But it didn't feel like Battlefield.
It feels like Call of Duty. It just kind of it looks like Battlefield, but it feels like Call of Duty.
Yeah, it looked right there. You go. It looked like Battlefield, but it 100% felt like Call of Duty. Me and Rasta had so much fun playing the Ground War, and then Yuppie hopped on with us, and we had fun. We were running snipers most of the time. It was definitely an enjoyable, kind of intense at sometimes.
It was pretty good
game mode. It definitely was fun. But is that going to be like? I doubt that's going to be the game mode that you
No,
named,
that's not going to. No, absolutely not. That I think we're going to go back, especially get it into the competitive scene. It's going to be those search and destroy style games,
cyber attack.
Like cyber attack. That's going to be the next thing.
Mine.
Like that's going to be
cyber attack. Me and Philly, that's all we ran.
All right. So, while we're on that note, I want to talk about so Blackout really brought a lot of competitiveness, a lot of out of a lot of people, even those that weren't previously competitive or had no background with competition when it came to FPS, if not COD. So what do we think? And I'm not trying to I'm not limiting this to Facebook streamers. This is for streamers in general. Where do we see people trying to get, like, what do you think of people trying to get in the groove as far as the competition scene when it comes to this Modern Warfare? Because obviously, being a streamer, you could pub stomp all day. You could become a pub master. But how many streamers are going to be doing that, following that same formula? Like, it's just going to be a bunch of streams of people just absolutely smashing pubs. At what point do you be like, you know what? I need to put myself in a competitive environment playing against people that are either at my skill level or better than me in order to set myself and my content apart. Like, so what do you guys see that coming to play? Do you see streamers actually even jumping on a competitive period, or do you see them just, rolling with the punches and just playing the game and just, winging it basically?
I'll go first. So I think it's gonna go back to like the people that like that originally played competitive in the beginning, like before Blackout. You know what I mean? Those are the people that, like myself or even you, Rasta. I know you used to play a little bit of competitive as well, and then some other people that are used to be the the S&D sharks or the tourney sharks. They do these these credit tourneys and stuff like this all over back in like the Call of Duty 4 days and all the way up through the Call of Duties. I think those are going to be the first people to be like, okay, man, like there's only so much pub stomping I can do. I'm sitting here, I'm smacking bots over and over. I'm destroying these pubs. Like I need something that excites me a little more and then brings a different aspect to my stream. And I think those are going to be the first people that do that have that competitive background before Blackout. But I think it's going to take a little while for the normal streamer that is like, hey, I was like, okay, well, I'm like that didn't have that competitive background. They're sitting here just like, okay, well, I gotta do something else. There's going to be a point where, and then there's people out there that can sit there and play pubs over and 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 over. But there's a point where some people get to, they're just like, I can't do this today. Like it begins to be a task. It begins to be something they don't want to do anymore. To get on and just pub stomp. And it's going to take a while for a lot of people to realize that, but especially if you don't have that competitive background.
Well,
But,
and let me go next. Here, the thing is though too is a bunch of people are going to get. A lot of people view this based off of if we just do Facebook streamers. Again, I come back to Black Ops was easy. Like it is. Like you could literally just one match you hop in, just drop a 25 bomb. Like there's matches where they're sweaty sometimes. You might only get 3-4 kills and die or whatever. Third party stuff like that. But for the most part, there was a ton of people that had 2-3 KDs. The game wasn't hard. So it was easy to be competitive on Black. There's a ton of things play factor, especially when you have traumas, you have level 3 armors. And all this type of stuff, it was easy to be kind of competitive. This game is, and we come back to, is massively different. There's no traumas you're gonna be popping. There ain't no level 3 armors to take a headshot from a sniper. And again, I know we're comparing battle royale here to multiplayer, but that's what's out right now. Like multiplayer is what's coming out. There's no guarantee on a battle royale, so it's kind of what we got to compare it to. So it was easy to be competitive on Black Ops 4 Blackout. But coming to this multiplayer, it's a whole different animal. You really got to have skill. You're not going to just hop on there and because you think you were decent at Blackout and just go bananas on multiplayer. No, I played with a lot of players who had like 3-4 KDs and they were literally getting manhandled multiplayer, the multiplayer beta. So I honestly, in my truthful opinion, just based on what I've seen and the amount of streamers that I played with, I don't think you're gonna see a lot of people as far as streamers go from Facebook. If we're just talking about Facebook, I don't see a lot of them being competitive and competing in these competitive. I'm not saying they won't. It's gonna be a rude awakening when they say it's not gonna be easy. They run into these tournaments, they run into the CMGs, they run into these, like you said, players lounge, stuff like that. They may not want to dabble in that same Blackout.
I come from SOCOM, right? So, I know where like you start getting used to just smacking kids around. And that's where we had game battles. You guys remember that?
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Game battles was like the next level. It's where all the sweaties were. And you really hardly ever saw anybody, that you usually would run into on SOCOM and those. I think you're right. Like it's a completely different game. Like there's not any other Call of Duty like it. So not a lot of these people that have actually been good at the current one are going to just transition over and be super sweaty. I did notice like Nick adapted. He's gotten better. You have to slow everything you're used to down to like 5% because if you just run around a corner, you're going to get slapped. You
Boom,
can't be
time.
fast.
And with that
Every
sprint up with your gun up, when your gun up, I started
Yeah.
talking about is like whenever you're running with your gun up, it's to get to a position. Other than that, like I'm not putting my gun up in the middle of the map anymore, just because you never know when that person's gonna be around that next corner.
You want
Getting
it.
caught sprinting is gonna be the biggest thing in this game. Is like people are just gonna be pre-aiming around corners, pre-aiming, especially with the lean now and stuff
The
like
pre-aim.
that. It's like the running with your gun up in the middle of the map, that extra sprint or whatever, is solely to get to a position. And that was something I had to adjust to, exactly what Yappy was saying, because I was trying to run.
Me, Jawsy, and Philly played the beta, and that was the main thing we said. That sprinting with that gun up, by the time you try to stop,
it's too slow.
And aim in,
you're dead.
You're already taking multiple. I agree with you 100%. That it literally, you hit it round down the head. That running with your gun up is to move from one position, not a long haul. Stop. Move. Stop. You cannot just go barreling through the map with your gun up. You can't. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. That's nail on the head.
And that's what I was trying to do in the very beginning. I think that's what a lot of people were trying to do, especially aggressive players in Blackout, or even aggressive players in multiplayer, is they were just trying to be that run and gun. Because of that, the TTK is such a big difference. Now you go 2 to 3 shots in Modern Warfare, up to 5, 6, 7, 8 shots in Blackout, or multiplayer in general in Black Ops 4. It's completely different. Completely different play style.
I think that like seeing a lot of the great Blackout players, or the good ones, just seeing a lot of them in lobbies where people are running 8s or 10s. And if you guys don't know what 8s and 10s are, those are 4v4s and 5v5s. I'm talking about like 4v4s and 5v5s of straight sweats. I'm talking about where the whole lobby is a straight sweat. But then then at that point it stops being about you. A lot of people, and this is a problem. Well, this is what I feel like will be a problem with a lot of people coming from Blackout. You could easily rush in and Blackout on a full team and work your way around and demolish that full team if you have that IQ. But to a certain extent, when it comes to 4, 8s and 10s, you have to have that, but you also have to know how to play a role and get your team more involved. So it's more of being a team of sweaties and absolutely just being able to not only hold your own, but shut down a map and
map control.
Because it's not only about kills. Because comp is all about objectives. There's no team deathmatch in comp. There's no kill confirmed in comp. It's straight domination, headquarters, sabotage, most likely cyber attack, S&D, of course. It's about knowing the map, playing, having that IQ. A lot of people, like, IQ is a big thing. I'm telling I ran game. I have over 100 hours, not even 100 hours, 100 days of gameplay clocked in on Call of Duty 4, the original, because I was running straight game battles. Straight game battles. Like, whether it was scrims or actual clan matches, like, so many hours went into not only like playing people who you knew were better than you, but you wanted to play them because you wanted to get better, but also just like, actually developing that IQ. And a lot of people, they say, oh, I play multiplayer, but I feel like if everybody wanted to hit that next level on Blackout, but if you're trying to do that in Modern Warfare, even before the release of any battle royale, then you gotta want to put yourself in those situations and play against players that are absolutely a team of dogs.
The one life to
Exactly.
live game modes are like, that's where it's at. Like you use the respawns to warm up for those. You know what I mean? You get a few kills, you go in, you play a few games. But if you want to be like super competitive, it's those one life to live gameplay. That's where I wanna hang out the most. I won't play those without a full squad though. You know what I mean? Because I'm too competitive. Like I won't be able to play with Randy's. It'll just be too annoying to me to sit there and just get smacked when I know like my team is pretty much not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'd rather lose with a team that knows what they're doing to somebody else that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Rather than just go in with a bunch of randoms and get smacked. That's why I don't play quad solo. You know what I mean? I just can't do it. But yeah, I agree with you.
And yeah, I 100%. Ross hit again, nail on the head, and that was a big me promise. Jawsy and Philly ran into on the beta. We ran into youngsters, sparrows, rallied, and truth, something like that. Most of you guys know them. I'm sure we all know who they are. And we played Cyber Attack, and we killed them more times than they killed us, but they won. And how'd they win? Because they were more strategic. They picked up their teammates, and we didn't really grasp that concept at that time, where picking your teammate up was essential to winning the round, right? Like someone dropped, but like you're still trying to gunfight and you're trying to clean up the last person. Where if you're the last guy left, try to rotate back and pick one or two people up and give yourself the odd numbers or give yourself the favorite numbers. Where if they only have, instead of making a 1v1 situation, play smarter and go pick up one or two people. Now it's 3v1.
Ghost Recon.
You know, and that's how they beat us. They beat us 4-2, I think it was. But we killed them more times than they killed us. You know, but it wasn't about that. They played smarter and they played more strategically, and that's why they beat us. So I agree 100%. Those game modes are going to, like you said, are going to be the sweats. I mean, we ran into some of the biggest names on Twitch as far as Call of Duty console goes on Cyber Attack. So like those are where if you just want to play for fun, I mean, if you just want to play for fun and you don't want to get sweaty, go ahead, go hop in team deathmatch. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some ground war. But if you're looking to get sweaty, you got a team, and you're looking to get competitive, go hop in sabotage, go hop in a cyber attack, go hop in domination, because you will run into full man, 5-man teams of just sweaties.
Agreed.
That's how you get better.
It is. Absolutely. That's why at a great point, it's all about getting better. I play Rasta offline 1v1 all the time because I wanted to get better. I was good at the game, but I was nowhere on par with him, and I just wanted to get better. And he, we just play offline all the time, 1v1, just to enhance my skill and get better at my movement and stuff and whatnot. So, it's all about, absolutely, don't ever think you're the best. You don't even think that. You don't even think that. And if you don't think that, no one else should think that. You should always try to get better.
Nah, you know what? Actually, screw this game. I'm actually going to be on COD Mobile from now on, playing the Battle Royale. That's the most competitive game I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, what do you guys think about people that are on the emulator, like actually just smacking kids, like with
Dude,
on PC?
You mean the ones that are just like running by them and then they shoot them in the back? It's like, what's going on?
If you want to do it for
was that a person, or is he taking a deuce or something? Is he on a phone?
Do it for the views, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, but if you going to talk heat, that's a wrong game to be playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of talking heat,
in the world on COD Mobile.
Speaking of talking heat, we've been taking a lot of heat. If you haven't noticed, and the world is streaming. Some of the stuff we've been saying has been pretty, controversial. I think you've probably been watching. Have you watched our podcast, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. A little controversial, but I think in the end, we're trying to speak the truth. We're trying to let people know, like, it's not all, it's not all donuts and fun games, man. Like, it's a grind.
All the birds and the bees. Yeah,
it's not all the birds and the bees.
No one talks about what the behind the scenes stuff. Everybody thinks they can be like a streamer and stuff. I say it all the time. Everybody thinks they can be a streamer until they actually try it.
And they realize that the growth it doesn't just come magically. It comes because you're either really good at the goddamn game, or you're really funny, or you're both. And that's what I've said since day one. Everyone here has had at least a little bit of success, or more so than others. And I think that it's one of those topics where I guess I'm sure a lot of people would like to see your opinion on it, I guess, if you're interested. If not, we can move on. But
yeah, no, I have no problem with talking about that at all. I mean, I feel like this conversation comes up a lot just for the fact that people ask me all the time, it's like, how did you grow, or how did you do this? Like, how did you how are you where you're at now? And like every person I end up playing with, I think me and Prom even talked a little bit about it, is it all comes back to entertainment. It all comes back to entertainment. Like you can't you like you said, you either a baller at the game, you're really funny, or in some way, shape, or form, you have an entertainment, side to it. Like on like for example, we'll bring up a Facebook streamer, the Kingslayer, right? He's pretty good at Fortnite. He's not the best in the world, but he's pretty good. But he's very, very entertaining, and he's funny with his persona and his character and everything. So like and with his growth is absolutely insane. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, and I think that's when it gets a little bit iffy. I guess I just cut out. I don't know what happened. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Maybe a PS4.
He's got the A40s. Yeah, his PS4 probably turned off.
Here we
That's
go.
what happens to
there
me.
we go. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But it just goes back to entertainment, man. I can't express it enough. It's just like you could be funny, you can be great at the game and stuff like this, but you have to be entertaining overall. And another thing is I'll talk about is like being yourself and actually being genuine, because a lot of people actually can tell whether it's just over a webcam, whether it's over a mic, over the phone, whatever it is. People can tell pretty fast if you're a genuine person, if you just by the way that you respond to something, whether you say something, whatever it is, people can tell pretty fast if you're genuine. And if you're not, it's going down the hill quick.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. I think I've been the most controversial, I guess, person recently on Facebook, and I've gotten heat from it. And maybe I've come off wrong, and I don't try that. But what is your take on and it's controversial, but what is your take on small streamers constantly, and it's been a recent thing we've been hearing a lot more, constantly saying like it's almost as if it's our job as bigger streamers to help them, like and let me just be a little more specific, like they almost feel like we have to,
It's
like
our
it's
responsibility.
like it's like we're like because because obviously you've how big you are, how big Rasta is, how big Yuppie is, and obviously I'm coming up, that like you're supposed to, like you're supposed to help out small streamers, you're supposed to do these things, and that's just not the case in my opinion. I love to help people out, but that's just not. If I say no, I shouldn't be demonized for saying no, I don't want to help such and such. So like what is your take personally on people viewing it that way, as if we're supposed to?
Yeah, so I personally agree with you 100%. I don't think that we have a responsibility as a top creator to say, okay, I'm going to bring this person up, right? This goes back to me, is like people are like, hey, do you play with smaller streamers? I was like, yeah, of course I do, but I don't play with somebody just that I don't know in any way, shape, or form. I'll follow their page, I'll watch their page, I'll watch them, I lurk in their stream for a while, see what kind of content creator they are, see how dedicated they are, see what kind of person they are, how they respond to the people in the chat, or if I'm the only one in the chat, and see how they're talking, if they're talking at all, whatever it is. See the type of person they actually are and the type of content creator they actually are.
He just literally repeated, like he verbatim said everything I had said on our other podcast. That's literally exactly what I said. I don't just, people say, oh well, why don't you play with such and such, or why don't you do such and such? I'm like, I don't know what type of content they put out. I don't know if they're doing something like crazy on stream. Like personally, I would never want to associate with someone that smokes weed on stream. Even if it's legal in your state and it's okay to do so, that's just not something that I'm, maybe I want to put my community with. So I agree. I would definitely want to look at them first. Let me check out their, hey, if you want to play with me, shoot me a message. What's your gaming page? I'll sneak in a couple times, watch some of your old videos, if I catch you live, see what you're about. If I can, okay, I like his content. You know what? I think it'd be a good person for me to play with. Absolutely. Not just play with anybody because they asked to.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the worst ways to go about it. And you guys may have a different opinion on that, but exactly what you said, Prime, is like the best way for me personally to go about it, if you're wanting to play with me, is actually reach out to me and say, hey, I've been watching you, blah, 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 and it goes back to like the person in the chat that does that, and they're like, hey, do you play with small streamers? Play with me. Like, I'm a smaller streamer, upcoming streamer, and like they have like they're in there as their regular, personal page, but they have no badges. You know what I
Drop their
mean? They have
stats.
nothing. There's no, yeah, they like, I've never seen them in chat before. I've never seen them anything like that. That's when it becomes like you're looking at me as a rocket to the next step. When in reality, the rocket to the next step is not gonna help you. Even if I got you a couple followers, anything like that, it's like it's not gonna help you in the long run because you didn't build yourself up. You weren't building your community. You weren't building the things up that you were in the very beginning. Like, you have to build
Gotta
yourself
grind.
up. Yeah, exactly. And people don't understand that. They think that, oh, they play with what they play with, they play with me or they play with Ross or whoever. They play with somebody that's bigger than them, that they're automatically going to get a bunch of followers. They're going to get a bunch of recognition on all this. And of course, you get a little recognition saying that this person is, you have chemistry or you run rather well together, whatever it is. You got a lot of wins together. But in the end, like, it's still like you're not going to get the recognition that you think. I think that's a very big misconception. People think they're going to just blow up if they play with somebody that's bigger than them. And it's not true.
It's like anything else. Like, exposure is good, but in the end, it's all about what your consistency is, and if you're gonna grind for it. You look at a lot of these guys that are coming up, including Prime. 60, 70 hours a week. Every time you pop your phone on, he's on. You know what I mean? He's popping into the feed. You got a good schedule, Nick. So everything like kind of came to light for you. Ross has a bad schedule, but it still worked out for him. Like, it doesn't matter, but you have to have something to offer in the end. In order to be successful in this. And I think that a lot of people are just forgetting that in the end, if you don't grind for what you have, first off, you're not going to respect what you did. You're not going to appreciate what you did or what you have if somebody just hands it to you.
Exactly.
And it's like last time I used a reference, like buying your kid like a $50,000 car or something like that. They're probably going to total it out because they don't care. Like, it was just handed to them. It's like they just feel like everything's but if you grinded for it and you look back and you're looking at the mountain that you built, it's just so much more satisfying in the end anyways. So it's like you built that from the ground up, from 0 followers, and maybe you got rated here and there. It helped you out along the way, but nobody can say, hey, I built you, I made you. And I personally would not want to be the one that said, hey, look at you, man, look what I did for you. Like, I'm not that kind of person, and I'm starting to see that a lot in the community where, these streamers are thinking they should be the ones that help grow people, and then so they can basically use it and just dangle it over their head, and it's kind of sad to see, in my opinion, where we're kind of going with everything in certain areas. Not everybody's like that, but
yeah. But it's also part of the growing pains of a platform.
Agreed.
So a platform is going to have these people that are at the top, that are going to feel the need to, or try to feel like they need to run something and to have a responsibility, even though they don't have a responsibility.
Right.
They feel as if in themselves that they do have a responsibility when they don't.
You just need to touch on it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's just, it's one of those things that just you part of the growing pains of a platform, man. That's it. And we're in the infancy of Facebook gaming.
It is.
That's
And there's a huge saturation right now of new streamers and people coming on, and it's like you get on Twitch, it's been around for 10 years. So you're always going to have new streamers coming in, but we're so like, people are just seeing the success that everybody's having, and boom, they want to get in here, and the saturation's been a lot lately. So not everybody's going to make it, man. It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's actually where Twitch follow for follow comes in.
Yep.
That's what like where stuff like that originated. Like people think like, you have 20K. Now you help me get 20K, and I'll help him get 20K. We'll all have 20K.
Big pyramid.
We'll all be successful streamers. But
Socialism, man.
Unfortunately, that's really not how it works. Like it will never get to a point where everybody is on the same level of streamers. You have to have top level streamers. You have to have, unfortunately, bottom level streamers. It's just the way things go, and a lot of people don't like to hear this. They feel like, if this person did it, why shouldn't I be able to do it, and why shouldn't I have it? And it's like, it's just not the way anything in life works, really. Like, and it's not that some people see more established. They think of more established people as being on a high horse or or things like this. And I wouldn't even necessarily say that, because a lot of people who are top level streamers feel like at any point that that can all be gone. Like if you talk to them behind the scenes, they won't feel like their spot is solidified even still. Like if you talk to me behind the scenes, some people see me as a big streamer. I don't see that. I'm nothing compared to my idea of what a large streamer is. And I
Exactly.
probably will never reach that. Will I stop working towards that? Probably not. But this is it's just so much entitlement when it comes to streaming, mostly because a lot of people still do see it as just playing a video game. Um, and that's just the unfortunate truth about it, you know. So
Yeah, I agree with you
Um,
100%. 100%.
yeah, I
110%.
and then this is to touch back on, the grind. And we had this conversation Tuesday. Unfortunately, like, you had those issues with getting DDoS, so you weren't able to be a part of it. But Yuppie said it. Are you going to appreciate where you've gotten? I 100% am happy with where I'm at because of the route that I went to get here. Like I said, and we had this conversation when we were playing in March. As I was buying all my stuff to start streaming, I didn't ask you.
Cole, it's all good, man. No worries, brother.
I didn't ask you, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you set up your OBS? What do I need to start streaming? Do I need a capture card? I didn't ask anybody those things. I did my research. I watched other streamers just to get a feel of what it's like streaming on Facebook and just kind of see how things work. Bought my items, did my research, set my OBS up, et cetera, et cetera. And I went on my grind. I reached out to you. I didn't reach out to Rasta. I didn't reach out to YA. I didn't reach out to nobody. I played the game. I grind. I put out the best content I could. People for a while had kept saying, man, play with Y8, man, play with PicNick, play with Y8, play with PicNick. And this, and I told you this, I wanted to hit a certain plateau before I reached out to you. And the reason behind that, and this is for everybody watching, was I didn't want to gain anything from anybody. Because if I gain something, I think at such a small level of streaming, a couple hundred followers, I think it gives the wrong idea, in my opinion. I think I get too happy and I feel like, man, I just gained 200 followers off of PicNick, And then the next week when they only gain 2, 3, 4 followers, it's gonna hit you hard and it's gonna hurt. And I wanted to know that I could make it on my own before I gained anything from anybody. Because the truth of the matter is, you do gain something from a raid. You do gain something from playing with a bigger streamer. You do gain followers. You do gain likes. You do gain some stuff like that. Maybe some stars. Whatever the case may be, not a whole bunch, but you do gain something. And at such a small level, it's almost like misleading in a sense. I felt like it was. And I wanted to, like I said, hit a plateau before I reached out. I wanted to know that I was on the path to success and I was doing the right things and I was growing by myself before I gained anything from you. And I did. When I played with you, I gained a considerable amount of follows, and that was awesome. And I love your family for that. But I appreciated it that much more. I appreciated what your family came over and said to me, because we tore it up when we played together. We were going bananas. They came over and they showed mad love. They said, man, man, you're funny, PNBG, such and such. And they came over and they showed mad love. And I appreciated that much more because I waited so long to play with you. I've been streaming on Facebook 6 months and we had just played together for the first time last week. And I appreciated it that much more. And I know you appreciate everything that you've gotten because you have done it yourself, Rasta and Yuppie as well. I know you guys appreciate everything because you busted your butt, you grinded the hours, you put the work in, you put the content out. And I wanted to be just like you guys. And I did it, in my opinion, I felt like I did it the right way.
Well, I think it goes back to is like you did it the way that we're talking about. You didn't expect anything from anybody else. You did it by yourself. You wanted to do it on your own. And I think that's what makes the difference in the person that says, "Ooh, I'm going to get all the equipment. I'm gonna get in with the group. I'm gonna get in with the group. I'm gonna grow from them." Or the person like yourself that gets all the equipment and says, "Okay, I'm going to get this organic growth. I'm going to be the person that I want to be without somebody else. I'm going to build myself up." And I think that's where the difference comes in, is like somebody that wants it from somebody else and somebody wants to build it for themselves. So
That's it, man. Grow your community. You gotta do it yourself, or you're just not gonna appreciate it the same amount. And it's just a fact. I mean, there's really nothing else to even say about it, to be honest with you.
yeah, exactly.
We'll try to transition back into some more Call of Duty. You got anything like that you've had on your mind about the Call of Duty that you've had about Call of Duty coming out? I mean, I know it's been something that we've been thinking about, short of what we already talked about. I mean, we kind of got what we wanted on the table from COD. I think we all kind of agree on the same things. It's more so just kind of saying it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I'm excited for the new game, man. I don't know, just over playing a game for so long. I got almost 60 days now, you know what I mean, on Blackout. And that's not including like the 5 or 6 days or whatever in multiplayer and so on. But it's just I didn't play zombies at all, which is kind of crazy.
I didn't
'Cause
either.
I love zombies.
Yeah,
And I love zombies too. I just never played. I was just so into Blackout. But um I don't know. I'm really excited for something new. New and change is always good. And I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for the different feel, because it's gonna be a transitioning. You know,
Night and
we've
day.
been playing Blackout. Exactly, we've been playing Blackout for the past month now, full month. It was a little bit more than a month, for since we played the beta, and there was a little bit of a transition, you know, in the beta. But now that we're gonna be transitioning straight, we've been playing Blackout and Black Ops 4 for a whole another, you know, month and a half. It's gonna be another transitioning period. I'm gonna be wanting to run up with my gun up and just like sprinting right in the middle,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna be able to do that. It's gonna be I'm excited to one of the things I love is being able to see progression and notice progression, that you're getting better at something or this or whatever. And I'm excited that I'm able to do that with this new game, because there is a certain level, like when you hit in Call of Duty, that like I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Is like when you hit a certain level in Call of Duty, you just know what to do in each type of situation, and then what if something went wrong, you know what to do why it went wrong. You know what I mean? So it's just I don't know. It's gonna with how different the game is gonna be. I'm excited to learn new features and new
I have
new
I have a
mechanics.
question. This is and it's not to be controversial, but it is the transition, like you said, from Black Ops to Modern Warfare. It's like a two-part question. One, do you still see the viewership being there for Black Ops 4 on the transition to Modern Warfare? I don't just mean like first day. I mean like
Yeah,
period,
over
months.
time.
Do you see the viewership still being there for Black Ops 4? Or do you see that dying off? I don't think Black Ops 4 is like a PUBG or a Fortnite where views are gonna just be there for, you know, PUBG's been out 4 years, Fortnite's been out
Yeah.
3 years. So do you see the viewership being there? And if you do, for how long? And then if the viewership is not there with smaller streamers, will you see them, because we're talking about the saturation, would you see them dying off eventually? Like smaller streamers that didn't, you know, that are trying or haven't gone anywhere on Black Ops, do you see them dying off eventually and just stop streaming? Or
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So I think that no matter what, if Modern Warfare, let's say Modern Warfare never comes out with a battle royale, never comes out with a battle royale, I think there always will be for years to come. For years to come, if Call of Duty, especially if Call of Duty doesn't come out with another battle royale,
okay,
then I think that Blackout will always have a community. It'll always have somebody. It'll always have viewership. It'll always have people that are actually going to be watching that and playing that. That might be dying down a little bit because it's not the new game. It's not, you know, the thing. There's always going to be the people that move on to the next thing, because they want that new feeling. But no matter what, if there's not another battle royale for Call of Duty, I think that Blackout will have a community. It'll have viewership for years to come. So if I think that kind of messes with the second question as well, because like if I don't think that if it were to die out, say that Modern Warfare did drop a battle royale, I do think that Blackout dies to an extent, but it all goes back to how well the game comes out and how well they maintain the game. So like with Blackout, we didn't have an option to go back and play World War II, you know, their battle royale, right? So we had to play with the problems, the issues, what everything with Blackout. But with this game, with if they do come out with you know, a Modern Warfare Battle Royale in January, February, whatever, if they do, you know, people don't like it, they can go right back to Blackout. but it is going to be different. That's the thing. So no matter what, I think there will be
Well,
a community on it, but I don't know for
and the
how
reason why
long.
I asked the question is because like Fortnite, there is no Fortnite 2. There's no
Yeah.
PUBG 2, right?
Yeah.
There's like no second variant of these games. It's just that game that
Yeah.
constantly gets updated. As to where Call of Duty has a
New
new
one every
game
year.
every single year. So that's
Yeah.
the reason why I kind of asked the question, because let's say there is a new battle royale on Modern Warfare, which I hope there is, because I would love to see it in that mechanics.
Mm.
But I think that's more or less where my question comes to, is that this game is harder to play. It is
Yeah.
not easy. So we'll go with, there is a battle royale coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be harder than the Black Ops 4 battle royale.
Agreed.
It is going to, because of the mechanics already. It's going to be harder. And I think that's more or less why I asked the question, because like I said, in my opinion, Black Ops 4 was easy to play. It was not a hard game to play. And if they do drop a new battle royale and it is the same mechanics and it is a harder game to play, I think that's more or less where my question came from. I was just curious, to that point of because I've personally seen it. People I've come up with, since I started streaming, about 4 or 5 people have stopped streaming.
Yeah.
They put up posts saying that they didn't go anywhere, they really didn't gain any follows, they didn't grow, and it just was honestly, taking away from other things in life that they could be doing, instead of investing in this. And they haven't streamed in a month, 2 months, some of them, and some of their pages are actually down, no longer up. I think that was kind of where my curiosity came, just because I've personally seen people that I started with no longer streaming anymore.
Yeah. So I mean that goes back to that for me, is that passion thing. That passion thing of how dedicated or passionate are you about that streaming thing? Do you really enjoy streaming to people, talking to people, building a family, building a community? Do you really enjoy that, or are you just doing it because you think in the long run you could get some fame, or you get some money, you could get this, and this from it? Or do you actually do it because you actually genuinely like it? So if you actually just genuinely like it, you're not gonna worry about these people. And I'm not saying that everybody has a different, background and idea of exactly what they want from it and what they expect from it. But and same with like backgrounds of like what they have in their lives. Like some people have kids, some people have things they have to provide for and stuff like that. And then every person is different. But it just really depends on how passionate and dedicated you are. Because like there's people out here that, for example, Rossi, Philly, these guys, they're in the military and they're grinding, their day job, and then boom, coming home. They're doing these 8-hour streams, 24-hour streams on the weekend when they get the chance. They're really putting in the passion and dedication beyond the fact of what they're having to take care of in the family life or the work life or whatever. So I don't know. It's tough, man. Just because I don't think Blackout Where will die out. I just think that um if Modern Warfare comes out with a battle royale, and it is more difficult. I think it will bring out another thing of people that are like, "Ooh, I need to get better at this," right? I was like for me, it's like I'm like when Blackout first came out, I was a bot. I was landing in states every time. Like I was doing this. I wasn't very good. We still had the mechanics of Call of Duty, so knew what I was doing, but it was still the progression of getting better and better and better. And I think that's what a lot of people will have as well. They watch these other streamers. Like if Modern Warfare comes out with a battle royale, they'll see the progression of the streamer, and they'll be like, okay, I can do that. I'm gonna try to progress in this. So I think if even with it being difficult more than a battle or Black Ops 4, I think that people will transition over trying to be better at the game.
I think I think what's going to end up happening though is because I've seen Blackout and they've really kind of gone stagnant on giving more content lately. I mean, yeah, they have new stuff here and there, but it's just kind of the same crap, just
It's
kind of
done
reskin.
now. There's nothing else coming out.
It's fallen off, right? So I think what you're actually going to probably see is Apex get more and more popular until Call of Duty comes out with a Modern Warfare Battle Royale.
So what happens if, in theory, right? In theory, what happens if Modern Warfare doesn't come out with a battle royale? We have a whole year of just public matches and whatever, just multiplayer, spec ops campaign, all that. Call of Duty 2020 is being created by Treyarch, which was it was discussed a while ago. So like that was kind of the speculation, is like now that once Treyarch actually took over that division of or that they had to take on Call of Duty 2020 and make that game, in a less amount of time than they normally would have, the 3-year span is in a year now span. I think it was a little over a year. It was like a year and a half they would actually have to make the game. It's like, are they gonna I've heard a lot of theories of, that's when they're not going to come out with one for Modern Warfare, but Blackout 2 or
Blackout 2.
a brand new map, like a brand new, like some type of mechanics and stuff like this, different game modes and stuff like this of coming out for, you know, whatever game this is going to be called in 2020, Call of Duty 2020 has a battle royale with it on drop, like Black Ops 4 did with Treyarch. So they are going to be the same company creating it. So I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the new year.
I think if that happens, Blackout dies pretty quick. I think that
Easily.
I think that Blackout dies quick. I think that you know, there'll still be people playing it, but you're already seeing like their servers are shifting. You know what I mean? You're already seeing like if you play quads, you're in like, I don't know if they're Spanish servers or like European servers or whatever they're throwing you in. But sometimes you have pings of 200 and you're like, what the hell's going on? Like this game's bleeding pretty bad. And it's because of the content. People are done with it. Like, you know, and there's still a lot broken, man. I left for 4 months. I came back. There's still a lot broken in there.
Yep.
The same shit, and they never fixed it. I don't know if they just gave up on it or if their testing crew is just really bad or whatever it is, but they really should have focused heavily on fixing the issues that they had and then going into content stuff. And I think they were more worried about the flashiness of it. I do believe that Apex will have a little bit of a surge until a Modern Warfare Battle Royale comes, if it comes out. If not, I think you're just going to see a fall off quick for Blackout when Modern Warfare comes out.
Too is like how Fortnite and these Apex and like PUBG, they are a single game. They're a single game, so like they have the ability to just focus on that game, and then boom, they put out the crazy amount of content, battle passes, whatever, just continuously updating that, fixing that game. With Call of Duty, it's different, especially with making a new one each year. Now it's down to 2 companies. Like it used to be Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and you know Treyarch. Now it's just with Sledgehammer botching 2020. Now it's just Treyarch and Infinity Ward as the lead companies creating this again.
And Activision overseeing all of it.
Activision overseeing it all. But it's almost as if they create that one, they put out a plan of content before the game even comes out, and then boom, you know, that's all there is to it. There's no advancement in it. They're already on to the next game, you know.
But with the new wave, obviously, is BR. That's we look at Fortnite, and Fortnite just blew the charts wide open. Like the viewership on Fortnite is, and even still now, 3 years later, it's been out. The viewership is just still insane. So with BR being like that wave that like everybody is on, that is the new thing, and like you said, because BRs are fun to play. Would it be beneficial though for Modern Warfare not to come out with the BR?
No.
And just have multiplayer? Like would that truly be beneficial? Like especially since Black Ops had a BR and it was widely popular. Like when you looked on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, like BRs is what people are playing. Sure, you have your multiplayer guys, but BRs that's where the viewership was at. So do you believe it would be beneficial for Modern Warfare not to come out with the BR?
Well, that goes back to how connected and how much do, you know, Infinity Ward or Treyarch work together. You know what I mean? So it's over the parent company of Activision. So how much does Activision say, okay, you're not going to come out with a battle royale because we want Treyarch's last year game to continue to be good. You know what I mean? So, or is it the Infinity Ward or or Treyarch? Do they have the ability to say, okay, screw you, Treyarch, I'm coming out with a brand new battle royale, and whether it makes your game die or not, like I don't care. You know what I mean? It really depends on how well they work together, and if they work together at all.
I feel like it's always been competitive against them, though, don't you?
I think
too. Yeah,
I think Activision has the final say. Honestly, from what I've seen David Vanderhard say, like his choices aren't really his choices in the end. If you actually watch some of the stuff he was saying early on, he was even like, you know, oh, I want this and this, but it's in the end, you know, I can't do anything unless the people above me tell me. And I believe he was talking about Activision. I think those guys have the final say, the final stamp of approval on everything that happens with any Call of Duty game. So yeah,
I did want to say, so one reason why I'm not totally convinced about the whole Modern Warfare, like Blackout just being the last of its kind until whatever Call of Duty 2020, is that we know Treyarch is stopping their updates of Blackout.
Yeah. There's no more operations. Zero more operations. Like the map how it is right now is how it's gonna be.
they're not working on it further.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
It's been nothing said or no plans for them to work on it further. Right now, so I see that as give Blackout a little bit more time towards the end of its lifeline in order to either set up for the strongly suggested rumors we've heard about, which is Modern Warfare dropping one, or just waiting out the year to Call of Duty 2020. But I'm kind of leaning more towards the the whole Modern Warfare thing, because even like I don't know, I feel like certain mechanics, I feel like they are kind of like added in there to hint at a battle royale or battle royale type mechanics. Like even when I was playing Ground War, hopping on air four wheelers, I'm like,
Right.
This whole feel. But I did want to make a comment about. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask. Okay, so obviously, this past summer, we had a wave of streamers that main Call of Duty, whether they stopped towards the end of the summer or during the summer or whatnot, but coming up, they main Call of Duty, right? And we had a wave of streamers at that point who were invited to be partners, right? Now, I want to get opinions on, do you think that would be the last wave of partners we see for streamers who main Blackout?
Yeah.
Mm,
That's a good
that's
question.
a really good question. That goes back to the thing that I don't think so, because engagement. It depends on
Popularity.
how well that streamer is doing. It really all goes back to Facebook being okay. This person is killing it. I liked what they're doing. They have incredible engagement. Whether it's on an old game or not. It really, it's about those watch
Yeah.
numbers, those watch time, all that. If that person is still gaining and evolving their content and having those watch numbers, I don't see why we would stop that. But that goes back to if someone is able to do that with a game that is old or not as relevant anymore.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I don't think the game really matters in the end. I think, you look at someone like The Promise, who's just killing it in numbers for the most part, short of being on Y8 and PicNick levels, like he's right behind you guys, like, right, he's right there with Rasta sometimes. So I think that, I think what it would end up happening is if they're going to focus on a specific game, they'll focus on that game and then they'll pick a few from other games. They'll say, oh, okay, this guy's been doing good over here, pull him in too, pull this guy in from Apex or pull this guy in from Fortnite. I think they've because a lot of people have gotten partnered off of Fortnite, off of GTA, I think the wave of a bunch of streamers getting partnered off of Call of Duty is pretty much done. But I think what you're going to see is like handpicked one or two here and there from Call of Duty that are coming up.
Here's a great question off of what Rasa said. So would you recommend, I think it's actually a phenomenal question. Would you recommend a streamer, small streamer, even someone like myself, would you recommend them to play a game that's their favorite, like COD, maybe their favorite game to play, but they're not seeing a whole lot of viewership, 5, 10, 15 viewers at max. They're not really growing much. Or would you recommend them to play a game that has a lot of viewership? And for instance, some people have transitioned to Call of Duty Mobile. I see people getting up to 400 views. Would you recommend them to stick with the game that they want to play, that they enjoy the most, even if it means they're going to grow very slowly? Or would you recommend them taking the path of playing a game that's going to hold a lot of viewership?
I'll quickly respond to this. If you don't play a game you enjoy, if you don't stream a game you enjoy, your content is going to be shit.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Shit.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't care how your numbers are.
Yeah, like the point at where I started, like not being bored of Call of Duty, like it would have affected my content. I couldn't keep going. I was holding excellent numbers. I was averaging like 300 to 400, and a lot of people would say that's real good. And I absolutely like abandoned it to play games I enjoyed. Like It's not
Exactly.
about
New
it's
stuff.
in order to keep the content up. It's about the content. If you're not playing something that's gonna put you at your absolute best, you might as well not stream it because you're streaming it and playing it for the wrong reason, and it's gonna affect the outcome you actually want.
Unless you're
Yep.
good at faking it. For instance, like if you're
There
good
is
at
the rare care or the rare people that can do that. And, like they're very, I don't know how, like they're a special type of person that can sit there and fake this, like, oh, I love this, and like they can sit there and just but those are the people that are doing it for the money, for
Right.
the, you know, the fame, for the, not because they actually enjoy it. And eventually that's gonna crash. Whether you realize it or not, that'll eventually crash.
yeah,
No,
I
and the reason I'm sorry, and the reason why I asked that question is, like I said, you see a lot of people now transitioning out of Blackout to some other game that has a butt ton of views because they weren't seeing that viewership playing the game they liked. And that was kind of the reason why I asked if you would recommend doing that just for the views, or would you actually just play the game that you enjoyed? And you've answered that.
Yeah, I would absolutely never recommend that. I've always recommended just playing what you enjoy, because the better, I don't care if it's with slow growth or whatever, you're going to put out better content when you're enjoying what you're doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing,
at the very least
what's the
find a
point?
different game that you enjoy. Right?
Yeah.
It's not, you don't have to stick with the same game, because I've never recommended people that are not growing to not branch out and find something else. For instance, Grand Theft Auto has been huge, and I've seen a lot of people surpass a lot of people on Call of Duty within weeks playing GTA. And GTA is a fun game. I mean, if you like that kind of, if you like role playing, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool because I've kind of gone away from Call of Duty, so I've seen a whole nother aspect of streaming that other people may not have seen. So if you've been in the COD community the whole time, you may not see that on the outside. But if you enjoy something else, go do that, because, you know, if COD's not working for you, or, you know, your stream schedule is like kind of conflicting with PicNick, and PicNick's taking all the views, because that's what happens. I mean, that's it's just how it is. I mean, he's popular. If you're getting beat out by other people, find something that you like, and switch it up, because you do have to think about your channel in the end. You have to think, like, if you want to do this full time and you want to get, you know, quit that job that you've been doing, Mickey D's or whatever, you need to make a sustainable income, and you have to grow your channel. You have to build your community. And chances are, if your channel is not growing, you're probably not happy anyways, right? Because you're a lot of people look at those numbers. I've told people from the beginning, don't look at the numbers. If you only have 5 or 10 people in there, act like there's 100 in there. Act like there's 200 in there the whole time. You know what I mean? Pretend like, and I've seen actually a friend of mine who was playing Ghost Recon with me, and he's been playing Mortal Kombat lately. He's actually he holds about 50 or 60 now, and he's just up. He's just very energetic now, and I've noticed the difference from when he first started to when he's now, what he's now doing, and you can see the difference. If you're energetic, you will actually have a lot of people come in. They'll stick around. They'll like your personality. But if you're just sitting here, oh, I'm playing COD, it's probably not. They're probably gonna go hang out with PicNick. You know, they're probably gonna hang out with Y8, because he's doing it the right way. So, yeah. Yeah.
Awkward silence.
Blame Prime.
No.
Someone in the chat is asking us if we're twins.
Speaking of that, let's
Weird,
since there is an awkward silence.
Blonde in their hair, the blonde in
Yeah,
their
yeah,
hair.
I got a couple of ramen noodle comments for you. So
the Frosty twins, apparently.
I got a couple ramen noodle comments up in here.
man.
You know, since we are kind of at a standstill, let's go ahead and actually start pulling from the chat. And actually, if you want, we can start with PicNick, since he's probably got a nice chat going on. Let's get a question from his chat, something that stands out to you, that's, you know, something we haven't really answered tonight, something that you think would be a great question, and I'll let you pick, and just say the question and answer it for your folks.
All right, well, I'm gonna wait to see what they say.
See what they say.
While we're waiting on that, we were talking about like stuff like that, like looking over at Twitch right now. #1 viewership with the release of Modern Warfare, and that'll go up once the game actually releases. But there's a bunch of people playing it right now. With Fortnite. Fortnite is sitting at 142,000 followers or watchers currently.
Still.
Watchers right.
And that's
Is
low.
Ninja on though?
Somebody's
Oh, wait, Ninja's not on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Ninja makes it.
League of Legends is 118, and then Modern Warfare right under that with 89.1. That's a big jump from the
GTA
top two. GTA is down at 62, 62.3.
Like fourth
World of
down, fifth down.
Warcraft is typically up there on Twitch.
Yeah, World of Warcraft is sitting right now at 42.
Brian says Modern Warfare is live. Did they release it an hour early?
No way.
Why 8's playing it now?
Yeah, well, he's 5 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, he's UK.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay.
Should we shut it
Look
down?
at your look at your PlayStation real quick, PicNick.
Well,
It
it's
turned
not,
off.
It went off. Yeah, it went off.
Oh, let me just...
Are the tactics really different? Yeah, they're way different. It's a completely different game.
Anything yet, PicNick? Anything yet?
I'm looking. Oh, yeah, here's a good one. How much money did you spend to start up, and how did you feel comfortable spending it, not knowing if you were going to take off or not? It's a great question.
I feel like you didn't spend too much. Like you went pretty quick. Like you were like computer, PS4,
Nah,
C20.
so there's still an hour. I just checked
C920.
my
Let's
budget.
go.
There's still an hour and 9 minutes left before it's live.
Okay.
And we're,
I mean, I'll
we're,
go
we're
first.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you answering.
So
You're answering.
with me, the thing is like I was already essentially I didn't need much. I didn't need much from the streaming aspect for a long time. I didn't because the thing is like when I first started, I was working for this other company. I was traveling around with a monitor and my PlayStation already. Like I had an entire different suitcase besides the one with all my clothes and stuff in it that I would carry my monitor and like a setup with so that I could play on the road when I was in a hotel, an apartment, whatever. So it's a little bit different for me, like Yuppie was saying, because I pretty much started with a skeleton and I already had a bunch of the stuff. Like I had the Astro A40s that were older versions, so I ended up getting a better version. So I mean that was pretty much out the door. I already had a keyboard. I already had a laptop that I was using that I was traveling with that I originally started streaming on. Until it was a very nice laptop. It was a Razer Blade. It was a very nice gaming laptop. It was back when I bought it when I was trying to get into H1Z1 and PC games. And so I was doing that. And then I basically already had 2 monitors. I already loved the aspect of 2 monitors because I would hook up my laptop to my monitor, the one monitor that I had, and then my other one was just my gaming monitor. So I could be on PC, watch YouTube videos, watch streams, whatever it is, while I was playing. And so it's tough for me. Is like how much would I actually be comfortable with spending? It's not cheap. It's not cheap in any way, shape, or form. Especially if you even like right now, I'm still using like we were talking about earlier how good Ross's cameras look, and how all 3 of their cameras look great. Yuppie is using a Brio, which is like the step above my webcam. Prime is using a Canon, right?
Remember
Yep.
Triple G, right?
Yeah.
Triple G was the first one to get a Brio.
I'm using a Canon mirrorless, so a little bit cheaper than the DSLRs.
Yeah. And then of course Ross is on the DSLR, which that's that upgrade. I'm still using the C920. I'm using a mic that is $100 off of Amazon. You know what I mean? So you can have these budget items that work great, but at the same time as you grow and you get bigger and stuff, and these are the things that I'm changing as well, that I'm evolving as time is get another camera, another mic, another actual studio mic and stuff like that to be able to evolve my content to another level. But starting off, you do not have to spend crazy amount on the small things. Now, the better your stuff is, the better content you're going to be able to put out, and the better chances you have of actually, blowing up or having a successful channel. So, I mean,
I mean, look.
I don't know. The exact number is tough.
I mean, look behind me. Like, look at this green screen behind me, dude. Like, I went to Walmart. We were talking about this off stream before we started. I went to Walmart. It was like $10 for the fabric. I have decent lighting. You can actually buy the lights at Walmart for $5. Like, you don't need a ridiculous setup to get started with a decent green screen. You can up your sharpening. I mean, that's why it looks so good right now. It's on a Brio, right? You could probably make it look halfway decent on a C920 as well. You just bump the sharpening up a little bit. I mean, you don't need, a $5,000 kit to get started. But I do recommend you get a decent computer. I do recommend if you're going to do console, you need a an Elgato or something that's going to be able to capture what you're doing. And so, I mean, I usually give people like the $1,200 budget, like to start out. If you're going to,
I was going to say 1,000. Yeah.
$1,000, $1,200. You can get a $30 mic that'll work. Audio is half your battle too. You always have to remember that. It's like 50% of your thing is audio. The rest is video and quality. I mean, but in the end, it's going to come down to your persona. You need to come out of your shell. It's really you that really is going to sell the whole stream. People don't
So-
realize that.
Let me chime in here. I actually disagree a little bit. I think it's different now, and obviously I'm the newest of the bunch here. I think it's different now. I feel like there's a lot of streamers on Facebook now, at least a lot more
sure.
than when you guys started, especially on the game that we play main, right, which is Call of Duty. It's a lot more streamers, and some of them have some pretty good setups.
You're good, Charlie, bro.
There's a competition, man. Like that's how I feel like there is a competition. I mean, you could be the best content creator in the world. If your stuff looks trash, that's really going to hinder you big time, especially your cam, especially if you're streaming. It don't matter if you're Dr. Disrespect, if your stream is skipping all over the place and lagging,
Doesn't
it
matter.
don't matter how
Yeah,
much.
nobody will hang out.
So I
Well,
do
vice
disagree
versa
with-
as well. Vice
Yeah,
versa. as well.
absolutely. You
It's
got
like
the best stuff and
setup.
I
and then
agree.
person is not there.
So they're it's definitely half and half for sure. It don't matter if you have the best stuff, if your content's trash, or if you have the best content and your streaming stuff's trash. But I think I do this recently. I have streamers hit me up almost daily about getting a new PC, about getting what type of lights, what type of cam, almost daily. And I'm researching this stuff every day and sending them links for what they should get. And for me, I did spend a considerable amount when I started back in April. My total setup was $6,000. That's what I spent. I built my own PC, so I saved a little money there instead of buying it from someone. But my PC alone was $2,100.
But did
and
you
that
start from scratch? Did you start completely from
Scratch.
scratch? Like, so did you
Scratch.
have a PlayStation or anything?
Yeah,
like
I had a PlayStation. Yeah, I had a
Okay,
PlayStation.
yeah.
But I
got
did start from scratch. I didn't have any monitors. I was originally playing on my TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was, my PC was 2,100. You don't have to go that heavy. I also
Yeah.
PC game, so I needed a pretty well built PC to be able to stream my PC and play my PC. And even still, I struggle a little bit. But you don't have to go that high. From what I've recently, from looking up for other small streamers, you can get a really nice streaming PC, anywhere from $600 to $800, and that's going to be a PC that's going to last you a year, 2 years minimum at least. And you won't it won't be lagging, it won't be skipping. Actually, I can give you a great example. Yuppie said it, and I said this before. If you go too low, you're going to run into issues. Like I went too low on my power, and I think I've been having issues with certain things because I have so many sources, so many USBs connected to my PC. It's drawing so much power, and I don't have the proper power supply to power all those things. So like, it does. Your PC is the most crucial thing, and it
Sure,
does
thanks for
matter.
100,
If
bro.
you go too cheap, you will notice it.
Yeah.
But your camera matters, lights matter. I have two big lights here. They're off
Adrian
right
with
now.
the
I
6
have a
months,
ring
man.
light.
Much love to you,
I
bro.
have my green screen. I have my stream deck. Some of these things you don't need. I have my mic, my headset, etc. You can go a budget bill from what I've seen recently. I would recommend anywhere from to really be able to be on par with a lot of people that are streaming now. 1,500 to $2,000 is looking like, with the lights, the camera, 2 monitors, a PC. If you're starting from scratch, 1,500 to $2,000 is looking like that's the number, from what I've been researching. But I would not go too cheap, but I would not go out the woodwork with anything crazy, because you don't know where you're going to go. And if you're buying it specifically just for this, you could end up taking a big loss. I kind of wanted these things anyway, so the amount of money that I spent really didn't bother me. But just know that if you go too cheap, or you buy, cheaply on things, that you could hinder yourself. So definitely do your research. You might be able to find deals, Amazon, you might find a Logitech Brio might be on sale for 140, and you might only have to spend an extra $40 versus the C922 or something. So I would definitely shop around. I would definitely look for sales, etc., stuff like that. But definitely, if you can get a little bit better, I would definitely get a little bit better.
Yeah. The way I looked at it was what if because I was streaming off that laptop, like I said, and I bought a computer, and I was like, man, if it goes down the bed, like it shits the bed, I'm gonna have a computer. I'm gonna have a computer that I can work with, and I'm gonna have a desktop that is gonna last me a few years, especially if I'm not using it that often or whatever I'm using it for. I'm still gonna have a computer, and it's always great, especially in today's world, to have have a computer of some
did the
sort.
same
So, I
thing.
mean, it's just that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't. It was like if I'm gonna buy this, like and something were to fail because of streaming, then I have a computer and I'm looking good. I need one anyways. You
Right.
know. So
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I think I had some pretty good deals on mine, but I think I built mine for
Yeah.
about $1,000, and I was like, you know what? I built it for streaming in the end, but in the end, I was like, you know what, man, this is gonna be an investment, and you know, worst comes to worst, I'll PC game and have fun with it. And I know Rasta, he started out on a budget. Rasta started out.
What I didn't spend, I spent probably like $700 when I started streaming.
But that's
I bought
also
a $400 PC off of Facebook Marketplace. I bought a used capture card that I'm still using to this day from somebody from Facebook Marketplace. I had an Amazon mic that was like 30-40 bucks.
I got the same one probably.
And the monitors
Still have it.
like cheap. One of them was from Walmart. It was like $70, and the other one, it actually came with some little i3 Dell computer that I bought off some chick that was actually like $50, and it came with the monitor, the little PC, and the mouse and keyboard, and I used that, but I didn't use the PC. I paid $50 basically for the monitor. So I mean, listen.
But that and there's two parts. Again, that comes back to again. It's very saturating. There's a lot of streamers out there with really good
It's
quality too.
It's not that. There's more streamers on Facebook now, yes, but it's it wasn't. It's not.
But what you were able to do with your budget setup, not most people aren't. You don't see too many people do that.
But
budgeting is absolutely wonderful. If you can get a monitor off a marketplace or off of Craigslist, do that. Why buy the new one if it works? Absolutely, I agree with stuff like that. And
I'm saying don't feel. So nobody should feel, like they have to be pressured into starting out with this just because of what other people are doing. Honestly, I've seen people with great streams, great growth, without even having a webcam. Like,
absolutely,
like,
and that's where we come back to content matters at the end of the day, no matter what you buy. I'm just saying though, if you put out really content, then invest a little bit. Don't try to budget, but also try to invest so that way you get the most out of your content.
I'm gonna use this guy because he's awesome. From what I've seen, YRG, he posted a picture the other day. He's literally got a laptop, his PlayStation, everything in a closet, and it's so budgeted. But the dude's content that he produces, he's been actually killing it lately too. I shared him out the other day. I tried to get Rasta, but he was asleep. To share him out, and he's been killing it the last few days. And all he's doing is playing the hunting game and playing Red Dead Redemption. And he'll probably be on Call of Duty, but like his setup is so bare bones, and he's like the perfect example. You don't have to have all this crap to get there. You do need a decent setup. You need to have a computer. You need to have a capture card, PlayStation. But really, it comes down to you. The stuff that comes out of your mouth, it's all here. If you're a dry fish, man, nobody's gonna care about you. I promise that. You have to come out of your shell. It's all up here, man. You have to mentally break yourself of just, a lot of people don't realize that.
Couldn't agree. And then as you grow, and if you start to see, you make a little money here, grow, and you're getting followers and stuff like this, this is when you be okay. Now I can spend a little bit more money on another monitor, another mic, another webcam, or so on.
Yeah.
As you grow, that's how
that's what I did.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Like I only have 2 monitors. I'm adding 2 monitors now. The cam, I'm actually getting the mic that they both have. I only have a $100 Blue Yeti, so I'm upgrading my mic.
Yeah,
so
but your monitor is also longer than 2 of my monitors side to side. So
I'm not saying so. Like, okay, so my main monitors, all right, I spent $1,000 on this, but again, it was because it was what I wanted. I had the money, I could do so. I'm not telling people to do that. The monitor, I didn't need it. I could quarter of what I spent on this monitor, and I could probably have 4 monitors. It was just something that I wanted. But what I am saying is I've seen a lot of people. Matter of fact, Yuppie talked about this the other day. I believe we were off stream. There was a streamer who was playing on 1 monitor, and he was playing the game through OBS because he didn't have another monitor to
That's
put OBS
insane.
on. He
Wow.
was playing the game through OBS
He was
the
a bot.
entire time until he got a second
No,
monitor.
he didn't realize he was
Right.
doing that. That's what I was saying.
You know what I'm saying? So like you do need certain things, right? Like, and I think that's the point I'm getting at. And if you can get a little bit better and spend a few dollars, then do it. But don't overkill yourself. Don't, just go out and say, you know what, I'm on $4,000 worth of stuff today because I'm gonna make it, because that's just not how it works. But if you know you have really good content, invest a little bit in that. Just a little bit.
You won't know how good you are until you actually start.
Their names are on the corners, bro. If you actually look at it, their names are on there. Rasta, Prime
That's
Time,
exactly
PicNick.
what I said when I started.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
And
That
not
was
everybody
literally
has
what I said.
I
I know I could do this. I know I have good content, and I invested.
Hey, that's why a lot of streamers are sitting there questioning why they're not going anywhere, because they have that way.
I got a good question that was asked by the my thing is when are you guys going on tour? Boy bands are huge again.
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
I cut out. I said the question was when are we going on tour? Because I guess boy bands are back. So apparently we'd make a pretty good boy band here.
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, I don't know about that. All I know is I got the email for E3 2020.
I got that too, bro. Save the date.
I'm guessing Yuppie's our manager.
All I know is I want it that way. So.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Childish.
Tell me why.
Tell me why. We hear it all day. Do you, Nick? How often do you hear?
Ain't nothing but a
NSYNC all
mistake,
day?
really. Honestly,
How do you hear? How often do you hear boy bands and NSYNC? Because I hear it all day long.
I got Ellen DeGeneres out here.
That Ellen one with Y8 was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, that's classic.
All right. Any other like legitimate like questions?
That was a good question.
It was a good question, and I guess I disagree a little bit. Everyone has their own opinion.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but that's just I think the way I feel on it.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Rasta,
other
you got any
good
questions, Rasta? I
That
think
was a
like
really good
one,
question,
maybe
though.
one. We got like 15 minutes more, and then we'll probably start getting ready for the Modern Warfare drop.
Yeah.
Maybe one more question.
I want it that way. Tell me why.
I think we just say end stream now.
Yeah. On that note.
Yeah, on that note, literally.
Bootleg Justin Timberlake, I got you. Ramen McNoodle at the bottom. What?
Ronald McNoodle.
No,
Ramen McNoodle.
My curls are in the back of
No,
my head, so I'm
his
not even. It's not
name-
even has like it haven't
his
even
n-
shown.
His new name is Noodle Time Prime.
Noodle time, bro. Yeah.
You're all
You didn't even
jealous.
see
I
that in
know
your
Yuppie's
chat earlier, did you,
cracking
Russ?
jokes with
Did you, Nick?
So.
We were in there trolling your chat for a while.
Nick, I know I'm in Nick's chat, and I know he hears the hair jokes all day long. So
All day.
yeah.
New
That's
cross-platform, man. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna be on PC.
Are
Awesome.
you for sure you're maining on like you're playing on PC with mouse and keyboard?
Oh yeah,
Or are you playing on?
I'll be maining on PC with controller.
I'm gonna
So you
do
are
that.
playing on tonight. You're playing on PC.
I have it downloaded on console right now. My fault. Yeah, but I didn't mean to steal your under there.
Bastard.
Jokes. I'm gonna stream it on console for
That's what
now.
Ross is doing apparently.
While it's downloading on PC, because it's 120 gigs on PC. Ridiculous.
It is
So,
120 gigs.
Yeah, but no, I
insane.
will be. I played half the beta on console, and I played half the beta on PC with controller. World of difference.
Yeah, that's what you were saying the other night.
It truly was with the
too.
field of view. I'm on an ultra wide, so bumping the field of view up, dude, it was astronomically, like it was just ridiculous. So I will be maining on PC with controller.
One thing I will say is if you get a nice mouse too, with the side buttons and whatnot, like you can drop to the ground quick. You can put those buttons to be like, your reloads and stuff like that. So you're not coming off the movement as fast. There's stuff that you can keep. The keybind changing is what it's all about, I think. And with the controller, you're kind of stuck with the controller, unfortunately. But I think that I will be. I will start out on the mouse and keyboard. If I like it, I'll probably stick with it. Because I used to play Modern Warfare, the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare with mouse and keyboard. So.
What a bot. Keyboard.
Kidding me? PC Master Race.
How long you doing just a regular 8 on Modern Warfare? Are you looking at a 24-hour or I'm doing 24?
I'm doing at least
playing.
12.
I didn't say a time. I literally just playing. Like it didn't. Like chat was like, so you're doing 36 hours? I was like, no.
No.
Play till I get tired, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm playing until I can't play anymore.
What was you said Rasta, Oakley Boy, Hops.
So
Jedi.
I originally had the only people that I had was I had Rasta. No, I mean I had Oak and I had Hops. And then Wyatt hit me up. He was like, yo, you want to play tonight? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, all right, I got Rasta and Deadeye with me. I was like, all right, well, that's 6 people right there. Let's get it.
There you go. Somebody asked, this is kind of a question, I guess. Answer this: is growing to 1.2K in 5 months not growing, or yes?
You just said
Repeat that.
it's growing.
Is
To
1.2K
1.2K
in 5 months not growing, or is it growing? I would say it's slow growing.
It's growing though.
It's
I mean,
growth.
it's-
Yeah, it's growth.
What?
It's growth.
You just said growing to 1.2K. Some people don't even see.
I think it's more
1.2K.
about the
Ever.
the rate that I'm going like way too
Yeah.
slow kind of question.
Here's my opinion on that. When whether you're established streamer or you are just starting out, don't worry about what anybody else is doing, how fast they're growing, what they got
Exactly.
going on.
I
Worry
agree.
about what you got going on. And people get too caught up trying to look at what this person is doing and trying to do all of this and that. Like, worry about you. Like,
If
worry
you
about like it's the same thing with the where growing up, some people get their degrees in their early 20s. Some people don't get a degree until their 30s. Like, work at your own pace, grow at your own pace. Who knows? You could go viral one day and just absolutely blow people out of the water. It's
Agreed.
just work
You
on
never know.
yourself.
Exactly.
Agree.
Yeah,
Stop worrying about other people
Stop worrying about everybody else's growth. Worry about your own.
Yep.
Honestly,
and your own
Everyone-
content.
everyone
Involve
grows
in
at
your own
different
content.
rates. I'm not at what are you at 65K now?
Did
Picnic?
Prime Time say that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
You're at 65K, right?
Mhm.
I'm not at 65K, and you got 65K
That's savage.
in a year, right?
Coming up on a year. Yeah.
I'm not going to see 65K in a year, right? I'm hoping to see 20. Or I'm hoping to grow at the same pace I did in 6 months, another 6 months. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping I'll see 20K within one full year, and Picnic saw 65 in a year. I'm going to probably see 20 in a year. That doesn't faze me one bit. You know, I'm happy for Picnic. I'm happy for anybody that grows at whatever rate they grow. I'm growing at my own rate, and I'm happy with where I'm growing at, and that's what it should be. I'm not going to sit here and be like, man, that's crazy. Man, I didn't grow at the same rate Picnic did, man.
Yeah.
I've been streaming for just
Answer
long as he has,
question.
and he's got 40,000 more followers than me. Just be happy with the 1.2K you got. Like, that's, some people don't get 100.
If you're talking about the
200,
mouse and
300
keyboard thing,
followers.
I'll
Like,
answer
yeah,
it in a second.
1.2K,
We actually talked
enjoy
about that
your
earlier in the
community,
stream.
You know, cherish your community and love your community, and you'll continue to grow as long as you continue to put the hours in. You continue to grind and put out great content.
This is amazing coming from Prime Time.
That's a good point.
What? I'm always preaching, bro. Get out my.
No,
get out my-
no.
Man, like, I passed that guy last week, man. He had like
I-
600. He
I-
said
I-
6,000
When I
strong.
first started, goddamn.
Hey, I had passed a lot of people. That's because they come
my
and tell me. They come and,
God, bro.
oh, you just passed this person.
How hard is it to get used to sitting in a room by yourself, talking for hours? Honestly, if you're talking to your chat, it's not that
You're
hard.
not by yourself. Yeah, you're not by
Yeah, you're
yourself.
not by yourself.
Got 100 people in here with me.
It does look weird. Like, it feels weird at first because you're like, you really are talking to people who aren't technically talking at you, like with their voices, but they are in the end. Like, you're still reading them, you're answering their questions, and that's like the interaction with chat is the best way.
Yeah, I've never felt weird in that aspect. Like, I've never, like, I don't know how or why I felt like it was like, oh my God. It was like,
No, it wasn't
talking
like
to
cringy.
nobody right now.
Yeah, it wasn't
no,
cringy or
no.
anything like that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You know when it gets funny though, when somebody is actually like in the vicinity of your room and something, they're just watching you like yell or talk.
What does Tyler think? What does Tyler think about that, Nick?
Tyler? Yeah.
Tyler's outside your bedroom, like he's just screaming at nobody in the chat. What's going?
Here's a great question from Daniel Arellano. He said, has any one of them went out in public and been noticed, not including E3? Like, went out to the grocery store and be like, yo, let's picnic.
Apparently, Triple G
Anybody?
did.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
Has
It
it?
has happened to you? What
Yeah.
was that experience like to actually like meet
It was
one of your...
actually it was somebody. Okay, so I live in like a town that's kind of like close to a college. I'm like 15, 20 minutes from a college, and I don't know if it's Facebook as recommends or whatever. I wasn't friends with these people. I don't know who they were, anything like that. But in two separate occasions, I got noticed in in just a bar downtown near that college. Which I mean, and talking to them and stuff like that, they ended up going to that college and stuff. But it was the one of the craziest things ever, because like he came up to me and he's like, "You're PicNick," and I was like, "Huh?" What?
Who?
What? Yeah, what?
Never heard of her.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, I really looked at him. I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, you're Picnic Basket Gaming." And I was like,
Maybe.
"How do you know that?" Yeah, how do you know that? Dude?
Who's asking?
It was such a surreal thing, like such a crazy thing, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I remember the exact spot I was standing in and everything. Actually, I talk to that guy pretty often now. But it was really cool, man. It was one of the craziest things in the world. Now I think it'll be different when we're at the airport or something, like just at a random city, and then like that's when somebody walks up to you, be like, "Yo, I know who you are." I think it'll be a little bit of a different feeling then.
What's funny is
but
nobody
still,
knew
it
who we
was-
were at
that's
E3.
dope, though.
I don't think
That's
anybody
dope.
did. Anybody
Not at
recognize you at E3? Like,
No, not at all.
yeah,
Not at
like
all.
the bigger
But
events.
that's
Like,
what you
Who the
realize.
F for you?
Like, when I went to PAX, I realized that. I was like, I went to PAX and I was like, I might get somebody to recognize me. Somebody might say, "Hey," blah blah blah. And there was some guy that said, he's like, "Hey, you're Penny Basket." I had a shirt on that said Penny Basket, but he was like, "Hey, you're Penny Basket." I was like, "Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm Dalton. Nice to meet you." Dalton or Dylan, I don't remember. But like in the grand scheme of things, of everything that's going on around, you realize you're not shit. You're not shit. You really, you're not really not. You
none of us
really-
are.
and
Really, honestly, none of
especially-
us compared to the grand scheme of things. Like,
Oh
unless
my
you're
God, yeah,
disrespect,
I agree. I
Compared to
couldn't
None of
agree
us.
some
more.
of these guys, yeah, we're
In the
not
grand
even.
scheme, we're not.
we're
even a
medium.
Spec. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not even
Medium,
spec.
We're probably lower than that.
we're probably
Yeah.
below. I would agree with that. Between
Yeah, we're probably
small
below.
and medium.
If
Like,
we're implementing Twitch in there, yeah, we're at the bottom barrel.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a truth. Like,
we love our numbers, but at the same time, you're right. Like, Twitch numbers are big. Like, there's a lot of big
Yeah,
stream people that you've
and
never even heard
Twitch
of
is-
that are just
yeah,
smacking
Twitch
you
is-
around.
I've talked to plenty of Twitch players. They're like, Facebook has a gaming thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, yeah, they do. Oh, that's
Now-
weird.
With that said, Facebook gaming the next few years, I think will, in my opinion, well, depending on what Mixer's doing now, they're buying Shroud, but like,
Bro, that's what we didn't even talk about. That shit's crazy.
yeah,
They're buying Shroud. I missed that one.
they bought
Yeah,
Shroud.
Shroud. Shroud is
went to
over on
Mixer.
Mixer now, full time on Mixer.
On Mixer.
Mixer,
Since when?
Shroud today.
Ninja and Shroud.
He started today.
Today.
I'd like to know what his contract was because he's not
That
as big as
same.
Ninja, but he's Shroud.
Yeah.
He is Shroud.
Well, the thing is, like, with Ninja blew up, and at the size that Ninja is before he moved,
That he is?
he is what Shroud is now. It's the same.
yeah,
They're
but he
type of
he
level.
blew, and then he came back down to reality of where like Dr.
Yeah,
Disrespect
exactly. Yeah,
and
that
Shroud were.
top level stuff.
So, but I mean, they just got Ninja.
The
I
bag.
think honestly,
They
I
got
think
the-
Shroud.
they
I
got
think
the
I
bag.
think I think Shroud was a better grab than Ninja was.
I agree, but I
'Cause
think Ninja got
Shroud's
paid more.
because he's the face of esports.
Yeah.
He
I
is.
think Ninja got paid more, but at the
he's
same
the
time,
face.
I know Shroud got a fat bag.
Oh,
bad,
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
You would
But I don't
never
think-
drop what you
so-
have over there for nothing, like for pennies. There's
Yeah,
no way.
exactly. Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Now, do you think Dr. D would go?
Well, that was what we talked about in the stream today.
He's
It's
the
like,
next. I think he's the next big, right? On Twitch.
See,
It's
I was
those three.
well. I mean, you think
those
about
three.
like Tim the Tatman. Tim the Tatman's right up there. Tim
Yeah,
Tatman's huge.
No,
huge.
Tim Tatman's huge. But if we talk about Twitch streamers,
Mhm.
absolutely, Tim Tatman, Summit 1G.
Nick
But the
Merckx.
three you talk about that people watch the most,
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Ninja. They're the three that everyone knows everywhere.
Well,
on
Tfue.
Tfue.
too.
Tfue is probably-
good. Tfue
Now,
is
but
definitely
we're
there.
talking about these three have been doing it for a few
few
years.
years. Yeah.
So those are like the three hitters right there. You know, the OGs. You think
I don't
Dr. D
think-
goes?
no, I
think he
don't.
goes.
I was watching
But
it.
he
Was
had
like,
that huge thing at E3 though,
yeah.
where he
But
got
I still
banned
don't
for
he's
think he
30
goes.
days, and
Yeah, but he apologized for all that. He knew he
he did.
That was,
doing that.
that was
But
awesome.
the same thing, like I was watching a video of his, I think it was on Facebook actually, where he was talking about, he was like, and you know, who really knows if it was all real, but he was like, I've been multiple contacts and multiple conversations and meetings, multi-million-dollar meetings
It's multi-millions.
with these different companies. He was like months ago, and this is when he was responding to Ninja going to Mixer, like his
Oh, you know
response.
what? I think I did see that video.
Yeah, so like he was literally like saying that he was like not gonna go. I mean, who knows? I mean, if the bag is there, I mean, money can make anybody do anything.
I think
now, okay,
the thing about Dr. Disrespect is he's actually contracted with a bunch of like on side by side with some big movie stars. There's a company that takes care of him. That's why he has all those cool transitions and stuff.
No, he has. Yeah. Well, he does all those.
Yeah.
He does all those himself.
Yeah.
He makes every single one of those himself.
Well, he's also got a team behind him for a lot of that stuff. So
he's got a whole management team.
He's actually on board. If you look him up, like some of the stuff he's been doing is like I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio or something. Like he's actually involved with a company that takes care of him and a bunch of real movie stars. So it's like he's up there. He's like when it comes to being an entertainer. I don't see him moving. I just don't.
Bro, Shroud right now, 67,000 people watching him on Mixer right now.
The first day.
But so like here, so and that's and great thing you pulled it up because here's my question. With them signing Ninja and them signing Shroud, do you think that's going to make a difference? Because before Shroud just went over, he just passed them in third quarter viewership. All right, Facebook beat them out for the third quarter on viewership, and that's with Ninja.
They didn't have anybody.
Do you think
Are we
Shroud
talking?
going over there?
That's what are we talking with does Shroud and Ninja care, or are we talking about just the growth of a platform in general?
So what I'm saying is them already having Ninja and now about signing Shroud, and we're still Facebook Gaming is just a year, almost a year and a half that they've been out. Like, so we're still relatively new, where Twitch has been out 8 years, 9 years, something like that.
Yeah, 9.
With Facebook streaming, with Facebook Gaming become even more and more known, and viewership going up and up and up because more people are like, yo, Facebook has a gaming thing. Do you think them signing Shroud is going to matter as far as Facebook Gaming? Is it going to keep us down, or are we just still going to go above them?
I think we'll continue to grow. I think no matter what, I think we're so small that the Facebook Gaming is going to continue to grow no matter what it is. So it's going to continue to go up and up and up. I do think that Shroud is going to have more retention than Ninja has had. I think Ninja has definitely taken a big hit. Now, in the end, Shroud and Ninja don't give a shit whether they take a big hit or not, because all that money is just extra money on top of their contract.
They're already set for life. Those guys
yeah,
are
exactly. Their guaranteed money is there. So basically, they're just playing for shits and gigs. You know what I mean? Like because they have to. All the extra donations, subs, all that's extra on top of that. So it's just I don't know. No matter what, I think that Facebook and how small it is going to continue to grow. And the only reason I think, thinking about it is like the first thing I think about is like, oh, how did Mixer afford to go get Ninja and pay him this multi-million-dollar and Shroud and so on? Yeah, Microsoft. You think about Microsoft and the backing of that. Now Facebook is huge, but are they willing to, with the infancy of
the question
of what it is, like, are they willing to say, go out and get a Tim the Tap Man, go out and get a Dr. Disrespect?
That's the question.
With a certain amount of money.
I doubt it
because of how small they are. I don't think they are with how small Facebook Gaming is right now. I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either.
I don't think they could offer
incentives
for somebody that big.
That big, yeah, 2 million. I think it's speculation for Ninja was.
Yeah, like
well, like look at Dan Rue.
But 2 million a year is not a lot of money to Mark Zuckerberg or whoever. He's the owner. Obviously, he owns Facebook. That's not really a lot of money to him, but that is a lot of money to give a streamer.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying with the infancy of Facebook Gaming, with how small it is and how small in the overall grand of Facebook in general, how small Facebook Gaming is.
So before I know we're coming up on the end here, so here's a great question that is for me actually. And I've been asked this. I think everyone's been asked this a gazillion times. What do you think? Said your partner and Ross's partner. So I think this probably goes more towards both of you guys. What are we looking at here coming up on here as far as partnership, supporter button, more implementations and integrations with the gaming dashboard and stuff like that? I don't know if you guys know anything or can speak on it, or if you have some type of speculation of your own. But I know I get asked a lot of time, man, how do you get supporter button? How do you get supporter button? How do you get supporter button? And obviously at this point in time, it's in beta and it's only they've only given it to select people. And partnership, from my understanding, is chosen through the Facebook gaming team, etc. So like, do you guys have any like information you could give the people who are watching who ask these questions, or if you don't have the information, some speculation?
You want to go first?
It's for Rasta and PicNick, since you guys are both partnered. I think that's something that people would love to hear.
If I did have information,
That's what I was
wouldn't
gonna
be able to
say.
share it.
Exactly. I like people think that like because we're partnered, we have this information of what is to come or when the next group is gonna get sent out or stuff like this. That's not at all what the case is in any way, shape, or form. We don't know when the next supporter group is gonna send out. We don't know the next people that are getting partnered. We don't know anything like that.
But any speculation on like do you think they're gonna drop a
2020
supporter button for everybody at?
Yeah, I think 2020.
Yeah,
Is there going to be like a requirements for a supporter button? Just any type
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say this: 2020 is going to be a big year for Facebook
Huge.
gaming.
Yeah, I agree.
Big
I
year.
agree.
2019 was a lot of testing the waters,
Yep.
doing this and that, and if trying to figure out what the future of Facebook gaming is going to be. But 2020 is where it's just going to be drop after drop after drop of just like
Features.
Like just like amazing things. So
yeah,
2020
I agree with that 100%. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
Hashtag yuppie for partner, huh? Let's
I just didn't know if you guys. I just didn't know.
Dog.
So like, do you think they will drop a support button for like on the mat like
It'd be
they
gold.
do for Twitch? Twitch is affiliate. So like once you hit affiliate,
Yeah.
you get the subscription button. So
Well,
you
see,
think
that's the
Facebook
thing. I
is gonna
think
come
there'll
something
be
like that?
there'll be some type of way to you like to level up. You have to have like whatever the requirement, 100 followers, meet the community guidelines, and so on. Those
Do you
check
think-
marks.
Do you
There will
think
eventually be something like
do
that.
you think they'll
There'll be
up
something
that, though?
different. Yes,
Do you think
yes.
they'll up
There'll
that like
definitely
1,000
be.
followers before you get a?
I don't know what it'll be. It may even be 5,000 or something like that. You know what I mean? It really it all depends on. You might even have to have like a certain amount of time that you're watched, or it all just depends on what they decide to make that checklist. And honestly, we have no clue what that could even possibly be. But I do think it'll be a thing you have to work towards to try to get to be able to apply for that
And
program.
it should be like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else to add on, gentlemen? We just hit
I
2 hours.
believe that will be an amazing closing question. Again,
Hashtag Facebook Gaming.
hashtag yuppie for partner. Hey Nick, thank you, man, for coming on. Enjoy the
Absolutely,
conversation. We'll be happy to see you in the Modern
Have me
Warfare.
back. I'll be pissed if you don't have me back.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're gonna be here every day, every time we do this now. It's gonna be a regular thing now. Gotta have Nick on, man. Actually, I want to get the Promise on here one of these days, and Lawless Ranger would be kind of cool. I think
Promise that he was down.
Promise to be interesting. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think a lot of you guys have good different insight, different points of view on things. So it's very good.
I love hearing. I love hearing, and I told you
That's the
why
best
that
thing about it.
I love seeing everybody's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Agree, disagree. It's always nice to get a different perspective.
It's amazing. That's why I'm glad we're doing this. I think it'll be pretty successful. We'll see what happens with it. But
Yeah, and this here, what
sure.
we're doing is honestly, all of us get asked, and everybody gets asked a bazillion questions all the time, and this is kind of a way to be able to answer all those questions and
or
for
most
people
of them.
to, yeah, we'll be too into the game sometimes.
Nick, it's always a pleasure, brother. I'm gonna mute out here. I appreciate you coming on. We'll see you in game.
Thank you,
Hopefully, I
fellas.
don't run into your
All right.
squad.
I picked to the Nick.
Yeah, I primed at the time. All right, man.
When it's prime, it's time. Yeah, let's get it, folks. Let's get a round of applause for Mr. Bald Face Killer, goddamn Noodle Prime Head, and the man with the basket of goodies, PicNick.
Nah, where's the button?
You don't have the button? You don't have the sampler still?
I don't have the goddamn button on there.
Oh,
Okay?
what are we gonna do with this man?
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's annoying.
Wow.
All right, bro.
All right, Nick. Good talking to you.
All right,
brother.
boys. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Guys, thank you guys very much for coming out. I'll switch back over here to this. Great content. I appreciate you guys for coming out. It's always good to chit chat with these guys. A lot of fun, good information, stuff like that. Hashtag grow your community. Exactly. And Mr. Nick kind of pointed on what we were already been talking about. You need to grow your own stuff. You have to. in the end, it is what it is. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm going to end it here. I will be posting this on YouTube. Make sure you guys are checking out the YouTube. I'll post a link to it this time. I haven't really posted a link or advertised that, but I have been uploading all of the videos to YouTube as episodes 1, 2, and this is number 3. And we'll see how far it goes. I enjoy the content. I love it. I love talking with people, and it's very, very kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of different. So just a little something different from gaming. So we'll be on Modern Warfare within the next 30 minutes. I'm going to take a small break, and then we'll get on the game, and I'll be on PC. So we'll get a squad together and start running some stuff. Get Stone, Dark, and Pool. That'd be awesome. I don't have those pools, honestly. That'd be cool. I agree. Stone Mountain would be awesome to have on here. I know he's actually did a podcast himself for a while. But in the end, we'll see. I mean, we can try to reach out to him. We'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and raid somebody since we have numbers here. Let's go ahead and get somebody raided up. Hashtag grow your community, but that doesn't mean we can't raid somebody real quick. Find out who we want to kind of help boost them real quick while we're here. Let's go to Mihoy Minoy. A cop in the was a cop. I think he quit the police force, but go raid him over, hang out with him for a little bit, show him a good time, and we'll be back on some Modern Warfare for a little bit. Say hi to your wife, maybe. Yeah, I will in a minute. Maybe not. We'll see. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you guys soon. Much love, much respect. Peace out. Yeah. Oh, wait, where's my mouse at? Where's my mouse at? Why's my mouse not working? Where's my mouse at? There it is. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah. All right. Now we're good. Later, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.